So Lippy, what exactly was the rationale there to have kind of a scramble to obtain the entire second round? And then you just texted me this morning like, "Hey, let's do this."
I was going to say, ask Lippy what the rationale is. I feel like is kind of a bad question because I'm not sure there is any. But go ahead, Lippy.
It's pretty. I mean, it was pretty easy. A and F. I made that trade with Tate when I got like 5 second rounders this year for the 105, and then I realized I just wanted them all.
Okay.
And I was trying to give Jack just 2 first, your first and Andy's first next year for the 201, 203. And all of a sudden, he just decided he wanted to give me Marvin as well. And he also gave me the 210. And then I was just 3 picks away. So at that point, you have to get the rest of them.
So I was talking offline, I guess you could say, with Curn about that trade. I guess we should. I don't even know where to start. I was going to say, I guess we should just go through the trades in order. But I mean,
can I just say, what baffles me, Lippy, is that you were fine trading away 2 future firsts for 2 second round picks based on what you just said.
Absolutely. Would have done it in a heartbeat.
That's crazy to me.
But just right now, Tate, Brian Thomas is the 201 in ADP.
Okay.
The 203, I can get the guy who was picked 12th overall at quarterback. I'll do that and see what happens all day over. Keep 225 first that are probably at the end of the draft next year. With a class I don't want.
I mean, that's assuming that they're at the end of the draft, though.
If Andy's pick is not at the end of the draft, I'd be shocked with that team. That's not going to be a front half of the draft pick.
I don't know. I would defer to the 105 instead of a Bo Nix in that situation. Brian Thomas, I like. That one would be kind of tough, but I hate Bo Nix so much. Like, if that's what I was staring down the barrel of.
I agree, but you're telling me I can get him in the middle of the second round at quarterback that was taken 12th overall. I don't care how much I dislike him. He can be something.
I would care. It feels like Zach Wilson to me. Like, oh, you're telling me I can get a guy taken second overall? Like, he's going to be something. Like,
Zach Wilson was like 107, wasn't he? I'm pretty sure Mr. Bevo Brisket took Zach Wilson over Jamar Chase in a rookie draft.
That's so concerning.
That's tough. Yeah,
he took Wilson 107, said, I need a quarterback. And then just let Chase go. It was we roasted him then. It's aged beautifully.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know. He should hopefully be on the pod soon. I'll let you might brace your brain cells for his take on the Michael Pettis trade. That's remarkable to listen to. All right, King Hoot says, "Fuck starting the draft. He's at Jazz Fest."
If he starts it before June, I'll be happy.
There's no way he waits till June.
He loves to do like a late June, early July.
Also, Jazz Fest isn't today.
Wait, hang on. Let me get a screenshot. Jazz Fest. It's Thursday, April 25th through Sunday, May 5th. Yep, it is.
I didn't think there was anything going on today, though.
Looks like
it's usually on the weekends.
Not Mr. Current Events.
Well, never been accused of that, so...
He also sent a picture of it.
Yeah, no, I'm seeing the picture. That's why I remarked as far as like, well, I guess they are doing some shit.
I do have to say, Sleeper updating it so I can't see who gave each emoji to the...
I hate that so much.
That's a terrible touch. I want to know who gave the heart, who gave the crying face, who gave the thumbs up.
Exactly.
Yep.
And how many of them were A&F? Because most of them usually are.
Because almost all of them are.
They decided to nerf A&F's power.
Yeah, that must be what it was. They're like, look, if we're going to give this one guy the ability to do all the emojis, no one's going to know it's him.
What's really sad is that no one really wins here, because I really don't like the emojis, like the reactions they chose. So, Mr. Sleeper, give me a call. I've got a lot of good feedback for you.
Well, the meme emojis are insane. Those don't make any sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're awful.
Yeah.
They're awful. Like
Those are the worst things I've ever
well,
seen.
you can't even do them on the website. I'm on the computer right now, and they're not even available on the computer. So
Wow.
that's how high quality they are. I'm trying to see. Curran joined the mock draft.
Lippy, this is nasty work by you. I do look forward to these traditions where you just send me the most dog shit trade offers on these podcasts. It's really fun for me.
I try to save it.
I thought that you would try and do a trade on the air, Lippy. I thought that would be something that happens.
A trade on the air. I would love to trade for the 106 if Brother Man would look at his messages.
I'm actually assuming he has seen whatever you've offered him.
I guess I pulled it back. But yeah, they need to accept. I'd like 106.
Listen to this madman's theory. He's on the Hoots Johnson about getting this draft started. Lippy, tell T what your plan is for the second round of the draft.
Oh, Tate. Every time I'm on the clock, the pick is for sale, and we're using all 23 hours. 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds.
So I'm gonna kill myself then. I don't know if you can post the pod if it's even started at this point, but just know that if that occurs, that'll be the last you hear of me.
Well,
I get on the clock at the 2:01. Think about it. Every night the draft pauses for 10 hours. I can milk the draft for 2 weeks.
My pick at 2:02 will be 50 seconds long, though, so that'll speed it up a little bit.
That's appreciated. I just hope that you can both make your picks at my funeral because I will not I won't do it. I won't sit through a 2-week long second round of a draft.
There's one way you can get out of this. I'll give you all 11 picks for the 103 and 105.
No shot.
Wait, what?
No shot.
So you'd give him the 2-1 and the 2-3 through 2-12? That's not a great deal.
No, it's not a good deal at all. That's a Lippy deal. Like, that's not... I'm not doing that.
I wonder for just the 1-5, though.
I mean, that's basically the deal that I did to get
that would make no sense. I will keep all my seconds. I like getting the 107 and only losing one of them.
Oh, wow, my goodness. There's Curn.
Wow. That's the savage. Noble savage.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yep. Loud and clear.
No.
Should be in the car.
Now we can't.
You know the walkie-talkie toys in Toy Story? That's kind of what I imagine Curn using when he calls into these pods.
Hold on a second.
Or like the solo cups with the string running through them.
How about now?
It is absolutely expected and perfect.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, is this better?
It is.
Wow.
It is. That's quite a bit better, actually. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh my goodness. We're about to be joined by Mr. Waters, I think. What a real treat.
That gives me joy.
So, how long have you been using your Sony Ericsson phone, Curn?
I'm hooked up to the Bluetooth in my fucking Camry. And you know what? Sometimes the technology from 2015 isn't what it used to be, you know?
Now, Mr. Waters joins us. Welcome.
Wow, we're about to have 5 people in this rookie mock?
We're about to have a 5-person rookie mock. That's what it looks like.
Oh, let's fucking go.
Let's see here. I wanted to do something with the settings. There we go.
Make it 0.5 points per carry to really mess things up.
I actually don't know if that would even elevate a single running back's draft position in this rookie draft.
It wouldn't, because it's a dumb rule. Good job, Curn.
No, it's really prime rule.
If you say so.
As someone who owns like 3 or 4 of the top 12 rushing attempt running backs last year, I think it's a great rule.
Well, as we all know, those attempts numbers carry over from year to year, so that should work out really well.
I mean, I'm counting on it, you know? I'm counting on it.
That's fair.
And you snag Jaden Daniels for a year and a half of mediocrity, run first passing, and you're rocking and rolling, Tate, for a repeat.
Yeah,
How'd you get Jaden Daniels again?
I love when my first pick is described as mediocre. That's really what I'm shooting for out of my top player selected.
Wait, but
I'm just
Curn,
chasing
how did you get Jaden Daniels again? How'd you get Jaden Daniels?
Oh shit, there he is. I probably oversold fucking Bryce Young to you, and then I ended up with him. So you just love to see it.
Oh, okay. Just to be clear, you gave up the number 1 overall pick from last year for the number 2 overall pick in the real NFL draft this year.
Yes. I gave up the fucking tiny undersized asshole who made my life miserable in all the leagues I had him in. And
are you really gonna go with undersized as the first degrading or negative adjective to describe Bryce in connection with your acquisition of Jaden Daniels?
Jaden's not undersized. He's solid,
my friend.
Oh, he's tall, but like a strong gust of wind, and he'll have some problems. But as long as you don't have that, it'll be fine.
Yeah, but he has a frame to pack on some size.
Well, I mean, so do I. But
Curn, whose shoulders do you think are more broad, mine or Jaden Daniels?
Bryce Young has the frame of a fucking like middle school fucking like band player. It's like, I mean,
right,
he
but
gets
one of those
lockers and bullied.
One of the two of them is toting the rock 800 times a year or whatever it is. I mean, it's not Bryce. Jaden is not going to hold up in the league, man.
That's cool. I look. I get 1 or 2 years of just force fucking him into a RG3-esque style thing. I think it's fine. I didn't want Bryce Young at all.
You would love to. RG3 is like far above best case scenario for what you can hope for.
Wow.
I wouldn't go that far.
What's wrong with that? Why am I defending getting rid of Bryce fucking Young? That dude sucked ass.
Kurt, how could you do such a thing?
I mean, look. Enough. I told you and Lippy separately in another chat. I said I think Jaden Daniels looks a little busty. He's giving off some busty vibes. He loves to get hit. I'm not sitting here singing his praises, but like, if you're gonna offer me, I don't know, Bryce Young for him, like that's pretty fucking easy for me.
I'm taking Bryce straight. I'm taking Bryce straight.
Well, it sounds like y'all did that trade, right? Is that what happened?
We did do that trade. Look, and now you get Bryce.
No.
It wasn't. He's got Deontay Johnson, and he's not only is he smaller.
Curn, remind me though. I mean, it wasn't Bryce for Jaden straight up, right? Because I couldn't have used that pick on Jaden. I had to get rid of that pick, but I could not have used the 1.02. I had like my first rounder was going to be used on Marvin. So the only thing is, I'm just responding to A&F saying it sounds like y'all did Bryce for Jaden straight up. I think it was that for you, Curn, but for me, it wasn't quite. What I'm saying is I would go one step further than what we did, and I if someone offered me Bryce Young straight up for Jaden Daniels right now, I would 100% take Bryce.
I mean,
wait. You just said you take Bryce over Jaden right now?
Yeah, 1,000%.
That's what he said.
No hesitation. 50 times out of 50.
What?
It sounds like you should trade for Bryce Young in every league, sir.
Yeah, what confidence
I've been trying.
do you have after seeing and Andy, I own Bryce Young in a big money dynasty league, another one. I think Jay Pauley's in it, and I have him in there. Luckily, I took Brock Purdy super late in the startup. So I hedged my fucking busted second round startup pick on him, or third round startup pick on him. I used I definitely saved some bank there. But it's sad times over here. No one's optimistic about that asshole in Carolina with fucking
right.
South Carolina dumber Devo Samuel and fucking Deontay Johnson now. Like no one's really that jazzed up about it.
Right. I mean,
Xavier Legette.
if you're asking for the positive spin, I mean, it's literally just go back in time 8 months. Like that, I would argue that absolutely no rookie quarterback could have succeeded on that Panthers team last year, just between the organizational dysfunction alone. In addition, that's all compounded by.
Did he break out or did I break out?
I think he's died.
Yep.
Andy, you died.
I mean,
Look,
Andy's honestly
great
convincing me that Jaden's the biggest fade ever at 104
Look,
and fuck
look,
fest.
look. I think that's a wonderful situation. Whatever he was saying there, but I mean, like, there's like after like once you get to the NFL, like you gotta show me something. Like, I don't think we saw a single. Like, did anyone see a single NFL caliber like there was just no promise in what he did. Like he
torched the Packers, sir.
He torched the Packers.
He dropped like 35 on the Packers.
35 fantasy
Did y'all
points?
lose that game?
No, we barely won.
We lost.
He went 312 yards, 2 touchdowns against the Packers, sir.
I think, were we their only win? I think we might have been.
He put 26 fantasy points against the Packers. They absolutely destroyed the Packers, though. What was that?
I'm just curious as to what is your addiction to taking unproven rookie quarterbacks in like the 3rd round of startup drafts? Like Malik Willis, Bryce Young, like what is it?
And this year it wasn't a quarterback. This year it was 80. That sucks. Poor Curn. Where did you take?
Oh yeah, and that fucking stupid. Yeah, like I took AD Mitchell and like wherever I took.
Where did you take?
Round 9 or 10. That was stupid. I don't know. I chase upside. I chase the fucking ceilings. I chase the glory. I go boomer bust. That's how I've always been. I will die on my sword, or I will fucking go to the moon. And that's just the way it be sometimes, But all I'm saying is, look, like, to wrap up this fucking like Waters wandering in and flexing how he traded Bryce Young for Jaden Daniels. Like, look, I fully own that Jaden Daniels could be a bust. I think we know Bryce Young is a bust. Like, I don't like what are we doing here? Like he torched the Packers. Like, sure, like, but like, how did he torch the Packers? He threw 37 10-yard out passes to fucking Adam Thielen. Like, I've seen enough. I watched every Bryce Young game because I was so stoked about taking him again, 3rd round startup, and it's not fun. He has no fucking personality. He can't lead a locker room. They show
that in the games. They show that. That's cool.
They show that in like the fucking like post press conference when you're talking to him. Like go look at how he addresses the media. Like he doesn't invoke.
I'll go break down his media.
You're recording this, right?
It's
how am I?
This is going to be glorious if Bryce Young becomes something.
All I will say is
fucking why. Like, it's not a hot take that Bryce Young sucked and is no longer that great. Like, where's he going in startup drafts now? He's like QB 15 tops, like right around, like.
He might be
like, what are we talking about here?
There's no world Bryce Young is the QB 15 in startups.
I was just saying he's probably lower than that.
Where did he go in the usual suspects?
I don't probably wherever Andy took him. If I had to guess,
I think Andy did take him.
Let me see.
I know Andy took him.
Andy took him 8-3.
Well, that's definitely not top 15.
So So Bryce Young went after JJ McCarthy before Watson.
Yeah.
I would take Watson over him. Kirk. I mean, honestly, I'd probably take Bryce Young over Kirk.
I don't hate that. All I'll say about him being labeled a bust right now, I witnessed Jordan Love look like dog shit when he got limited playing time before this season.
Dude, he looked like dog shit when he threw 3 picks against the Raiders.
Yeah. So like, everyone's so quick to be like, oh look, like Jordan Love top dynasty quarterback asset now. Like I just think that it's rushing to judgment. After one season with 0 weapons, literally 0 weapons, where we're like, oh, he can't do it. Doesn't have it.
Love's best weapon was a 2nd-round rookie pick of Jaden Reed this year. Jordan Love's winning MVP next year, and he had no weapons.
I mean,
no offense to CJ Stroud, sir.
Yeah.
Also, I think Jaden Reed is just good, though.
Yes, he is. Absolutely.
So
He had one game where he threw for 300 yards. Look at his fucking box score. Like, this guy fucking blows.
are we box score
Curn is a
counting now,
box
Curn?
score merchant.
Y'all are fucking gaslighting me for no goddamn reason. Fucking trading Bryce Young for Jaden Daniels. Kiss my fucking ass, Kate. Go fuck a goat. You fucking contrarian to be contrarian asshole. Get the fuck out of here. I'm on too much of your workout to be fucking gaslit that I'm somehow
Wait.
retarded for fucking trading
Wait.
fucking Bryce Young
All right.
for fucking Jaden Daniels.
Lippy, he did not torch the Packers. He scored 14 fantasy points.
He threw the ball 36 times.
Wait. In what world did he score 14 fantasy points?
I'm
He
looking
scored
at
26.
Hey, guess what?
This player
In week
card that I'm
10,
looking at here says.
hold on. In week 10, he threw the ball 38 times for 180 yards. This dude fucking reeks. Fuck Bryce
Yeah, but
Young.
he's throwing to you out there, Curn. Like anyone would throw for 100 yards.
I'm starting the mock.
Dude. CJ came out and dog fucked the entire league with the Texans. This guy fucking blows. God damn. Hey, you know I'm
I'll
right.
disagree there.
Strange shit. I gotta move on.
All right, I'm gonna take Caleb here just because I don't know how you don't. I feel like that's.
Hold on,
an
where's my
easy
mock draft? Hold on, I'm fucked up. Hold on, I gotta find this mock draft.
Yeah, take your time. You've got time.
Curn got a little heated.
Oh yeah, it's not being able to find the mock draft that has you fucked up.
Yeah, it's the fucking.
Wait, Curn, are you taking Jaden Daniels here, or would you trade this pick for Bryce
You
Young?
You better take Jaden Daniels here.
Boyfriend Tate who's trying to make me feel like I'm crazy for fucking for fucking catching him on his phone texting all the bitches. Like I'm fucking the crazy person. Get out of here.
Curn, let's say the Bryce Young manager offers you a trade right now, Bryce Young for this pick. What are you doing?
Like seriously, like what the fuck are we talking about here? Are you kidding me? Are you?
I was real lukewarm on Bryce Young before this. I've never been more in on him now.
I wish we had a fucking league where you were sitting here with your happy ass at the 103 and I could be like, oh, I got Bryce Young. Yeah, right? Fucking asshole. All right. All that being said, I'm taking league neighbors.
Okay.
I gotta diversify my assets. And I'm gonna let this asshole take Jaden Daniels.
I mean, I don't know how Jaden Daniels can go 104 after all this.
Wow, how far is Daniels going to slide?
It really can't. I'm hearing character concerns being thrown out now.
Man, look, he's 6'4", 210. Like, he's so fucking tiny.
He's 210 with water weight. Like a hot day outside, he's going to sweat off 20 of those pounds.
Now that's a pick I like. I love that. Okay.
All right, now y'all are just trying to make a point.
Okay, let's be honest here. JJ went to a better situation than Jaden did, honestly.
Objectively.
Cliff
Kingsbury is the offensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders.
How does he have a job still?
Nepotism is the only thing I can think of,
how
but I
is the
can't prove
enemy
it.
fired for Kingsbury?
Yeah, I don't know. Well,
milking the clock.
I wanted to maybe talk about these picks and not just have the CPUs auto make them. I think to that point, Bieniemy was really bad, so I don't think firing him is a mistake. Now, the replacement is certainly a choice, but I don't think they needed to keep Bieniemy around with a new quarterback. The Drake May pick, I love. I think he is so good. I think he's going to be so awesome, and that's who I wanted. I don't know. It's so hard to keep up with Fuckfist at this point, but I either had the 104 or I was talking about getting the 104 at some point. That's who I would take there. Lippy, is this a Curn thing, or would you take McCarthy ahead of Daniels?
I mean, I would take McCarthy over Roman Bowers.
Tough call for Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, I mean, earlier today I was leading Jaden Daniels 104, but after all this talk,
right,
it might be JJ.
Maybe you trade the pick for Bryce Young.
The question I have, and this is something that I've been thinking about for the past couple of minutes, Curn, if if Jaden Daniels makes it back to you at 2.3, do you pull the trigger there, or are you holding off?
I mean, shit. Between him and Xavier Legette, who's going to be just firing off the charts with fucking Big Dick Bryce Young next year. I mean, like, I've really got my options ahead of me.
Oh man! All right, I'm gonna go ahead and assign Jaden Daniels as this pick. How do I?
Honestly, in my pick, I mainly made both to troll Kern and to keep Lippy guessing on what I'm doing in Fuckfest. So
Well, so I've already said this to Alexander and you, Tate. I think there's a high likelihood you go whatever QB you want at 103 just to dare me to take Neighbors at
I will
104.
not be doing that. I've told you that unequivocally. I will not be doing that.
Well, so then you can't keep me guessing because I have the 104 and you have the 105.
Yeah, but I can keep you guessing on which one I actually want.
Oh, but I can keep you guessing on which one I want.
I don't care which one you want
So then why would I care which one you want?
because you like to deprive me of the things that I enjoy.
Ah.
He's got you there. Now,
All I'll say real quick on the last little bit of this on this Jaden Daniels versus these other guys is, I think at least for Jaden Daniels, you at least get the ceiling of the dual threat, ability, and I think that he's in a better situation than New England. That's what would make me lean one or the other. I think worst case, you look at this next year, like after year one, I think you could see the flashes from Jaden that push him up into like a better startup pick, and I could see New England kind of being a tougher environment to really thrive in. JJ has the ability to like jump right up to like an early second round startup pick if he can feed his weapons.
Yeah, I think May. My personal belief is I think May has the highest ceiling, arguably, of any of them. But to your point, I think New England is probably the worst out of the three situations. So I think taking May, you risk like him possibly never reaching that ceiling if the environment isn't such that he can. Whereas I do think Jaden gives you probably the most immediate fantasy payoff, like you said. Um, but I do like the one point that Andy said that I do think is valid is if he does rush as much as I think is possible, he takes cartoonish hits. Like it's not just like normal hits. He takes like brutal
Yeah, no.
crushing hits, and that makes me a little nervous about him.
Curn.
Yeah, he almost got murdered in that last playoff game for sure. Like he has to work on that a little bit. But
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like, it's kind of exactly. And Justin Fields is like the complete like extreme of this. But like it would almost potentially be just like Justin Fields versus Bryce Young. Like if Drake May goes into New England, it sucks. He's throwing to fucking Demario Douglas and
there's nothing
turd
wrong with that.
asshole, and yeah, and like he's trying to
Hunter
fucking
Henry.
score touchdowns in that offense. Like there's a world where he is viewed kind of in that nasty New England bucket, and Jaden Daniels has rushed for 800 yards and scored 6 touchdowns on the ground, and suddenly,
Okay,
he's a top
wait. Curn, who had more rushing attempts in the last 2 years? Jaden Daniels or Drake May?
I'm sure you're gonna say it's Drake May. That's fine. I still would take the environment of Jaden.
It's not Drake May. It's Jaden Daniels by like 10. But I mean, Drake had 300 rushing attempts the last 2 years. He runs the ball.
Does Jalen Polk going to the Patriots move the needle for you at all?
I mean, I like Drake May a lot too. I'm just saying, like,
We love Polk. We're gonna smash up some Polk.
But between these 5 or 6 people, like, I mean, I don't know. You can make a case for these 3 quarterbacks if you really wanted to. I like Malik Neighbors a lot, though. I think he's a bad motherfucker. So I mean,
Now,
mixed bag
we've
here.
talked a lot about kind of questionable quarterback play. Does Danny Dimes or Danny DeVito throwing the ball to him concern you at all, Curn, with taking him at 103, or does that not matter?
I mean, it's not great, but like, I think he's actually like a special enough talent to where like
Just too good
he'll
for it to
demand the
matter.
target volume. He'll just demand the target volume, and he'll make shit work. He's a freak. He's like, if it wasn't for Marvin Harrison, we'd be really giving Malik his flowers this
Who's
draft.
running the ball in New York this year?
Devin Singletary.
Maybe Devin Singletary, who I have in so many leagues.
Oh, that's going to be so nice. He's going to do so good there.
Yep.
He's
Ain't
such a
that shit?
dog.
What was that?
Wow.
I said you've got lots of Singletary shares.
Big time. Acquired him in a blockbuster trade last year for a single fab. It was a great trade. And that was, there's a lot of trades that really worked out for me last year. Team 7, what would you guys do here? So this was, I was talking to Lippy about this. What do you do with Rome in the draft?
You draft him like the happiest person in the world.
Yeah, I smash Rome at that pick, 100%.
Now, I know there's been a little bit of, the clown show / QB discussion here. Would you have taken Rome at any of these picks that have already happened?
I mean, if I, for some reason, had 3 stud quarterbacks at 106, I guess.
Okay.
But
yeah, that's the earliest, though. Like, I don't...
But 107, it's a no doubt pick Rome.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then that brings me to my question. Does that mean we're going to have 7 rookie picks in the top 40 of ADP? Because Rome's at 43 right now.
There's an argument that Rome could have the JSN effect where he's in a crowded
that's
room.
That's what I'm worried about.
But I mean, JSN did get a good amount of volume. He just didn't.
That's 600 yards.
Yeah, he actually did do a pretty good amount, and his value is at worst right now. He's probably a late 6th startup pick, and last year he was probably a late 4th. So he didn't lose a ton of value. So I mean, I think Rome could still. I mean, and next year if you lose, one of those veterans to a different team, or Keenan, dips out or something, I think his value could increase too. And Caleb being there, if he shows out, his value goes up even more. That's always what I'm thinking about. I don't ever think about I don't know, the long-term game of these players. Everything's so liquid. It's whose value can increase the most this time next year that I could potentially be flexible with. And Rome could definitely do that.
Yeah, I think Keenan's deal expire after this year, so he's a free agent anyway. So
and DJ Moore is getting old.
He's still pretty young though.
He's old.
Yeah. For how long he's been in the league, he's young.
Let me ask you all a question. 107 is where I was about to pick before today's trade. I think if I'm on the clock, I go Xavier Worthy instead of...
Yeah, Xavier Worthy cannot catch a football.
He can. Quinn Ewers can't put it on the money.
Yeah. Do you know who can? This fella named Patrick.
Yeah, but they've done it for 5 other wide receivers, and Xavier's much better than those guys from a prospect level. But it's still it's still I mean they've done it I don't know. I just think Rome his profile is much more sharp, and I've always, one thing I listen to with these dynasty nerds is the talent at wide receiver always excels. You can have all the opportunity in the world in offense, but if you're not at that level, it won't really mean much. And I kind of believe in that. So I mean, I'd still lean Rome, but I mean,
yeah, I would just rather as what Curn was saying, that they've done this before. And I do think Xavier's better than any of those guys, but I'd rather be burned on missing out on Xavier and him being the exception than passing on Rome and taking that risk, because I think Rome is exceptional. So
this is not anti-Rome. I was texting Lippy in November I fucking love Rome Odunze. Who the fuck is this guy? He's so awesome. It's not anti-Rome. It's man, Worthy could be a special fucking player. So obviously, it's a great problem to have if you're there at the 107 staring both of them down.
if I was at the 109 and the dude at 107 took Xavier Worthy, I'd be doing fucking flips. So I'm getting Bowers or fucking Rome at 109.
So that's my next question. What do you do with Bowers? Would you pick him here at 108?
Yes.
Probably.
You kind of have to, but it's the worst spot he could have gone to. It's a really shitty
if I've got the 108,
room.
I mean, and I see Rome go in front of me, I say, great, I've got Xavier Worthy.
That I could entertain the Xavier argument there. I could understand that.
I would say
I'm
okay,
getting lower.
awesome.
I'm getting lower on Bowers lately, just because of
Who the fuck is throwing him the ball?
Well, it's just that like I've been burned by Kyle Pitts, and like you don't want to compare people to past experiences, but like the value, like Kyle Pitts still held lots of value, but like, I mean, I don't know if Brock Bowers is going into this year with the same like shining fucking throbbing value core that Kyle Pitts had at the same time, and like he didn't get like the top 6 draft capital. It's like if he does come out and like like they target Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers, and he gets like I don't know, like 40 targets or 50 targets, and like 400 yards. Like, what is his value next year? I just don't know. He might just be like another Michael Mayer, but like I do think he's very fucking talented, and just on that alone, I would just chase the talent of it and chase the high draft investment and probably take him at least over Xavier Worthy and Ladd and all these dudes. The top 8 for me, like if you took Bowers here, like looking at this top 8, this is pretty in stone for me. Like this is the cliff. Like this is the cliff of tier 1.
You think
in
there's
here
a
are many
cliff
tiers.
and then Worthy? Like he's
I
down below a
think there's-
cliff?
I
Yes.
do. I think there's a cliff just because I've been burned by chasing players who go to good opportunities who may not have that S tier profile. And I think that he wouldn't be in this position if he didn't break the NFL Combine record. And I just get like, I've just been burned by it before A&F. I've chased John Ross.
I
I've
guess
chased
you should
Henry
have run
Ruggs.
slower. I don't.
I know. I've chased
I think he has the profile though. Like I would agree with you to some extent as far as like I do think there's a bit of a drop off, but I don't think it's much. Like I really like Xavier Worthy and think that he is very much so worth consideration at 8 or 9, like around here. Like I
Okay,
think he's different than those other guys. Yeah.
Say you're in the same position and you own the 109-ish pick. Would you be willing to take Sky Moore there in a rookie draft?
Sky Moore, no.
Interesting. Thank you.
Guy Moore was he was a second round pick, huh?
No. He was 109, 110.
God, see, like it's just like I know Xavier's better than that. Just like I don't. He's 150 pounds. Like I get it. Like I'm not gonna knock his weight or anything.
I've been hearing nothing but for the last 200 days how this is the best receiver class the NFL's ever seen, and now there's only 3 ones worth taking.
It's just because the top 3 are so good. Like the top 3 are just so good. Like Marvin Harrison is the prince to his promise. Like he alone like carries so much like aura into this wide receiver core, and like having Malik Neighbors break out and having Rome, like it makes this very juicy. Like the fact that you could get a prospect like Rome at 107, 108 is like very delightful because like in any other shitty quarterback year, he's going like 103 easy. So I think that's a lot of it. I mean, Xavier Worthy, A&F, if it's any consolation, him and Brian Thomas are firmly in this 109, 110 spot for me.
I'd put
Brian Thomas. Wow. That's a nice prospect.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like these guys are fucking great. These guys are.
Brian Thomas makes me more nervous than Worthy.
I mean, they are.
He's so good. And then you got Ladd there too, and
you think about it's like not only like wow these players can be kind of special, and then you think well maybe they have shitty landing spots. Oh wait, they're fucking exceptional, huh? Like what?
Look, I get it. Look, I'll probably have
a cliff. Are you joking?
Like, if he becomes Tyreek Hill-esque A&F, and like if he puts on like some pounds in camp, and like, look, he's a league breaking wide receiver, which I mean, like you would love to see it, but just over these top 8, I feel like
Curn.
I think Bowers at 8 is just a shitty pick. That's
Curn.
What I think. I think it's a shitty pick.
Imagine you just won a dynasty league. And you have your first round pick this year. You're at 112. You're on the clock, and you can pick between Ladd McWhateverly or Brian Thomas at 112.
Oh, it's great. It's awesome.
How would you not just be over the moon at those options?
Oh, you can take fucking Bo Nix. Michael Penis is like a fucking flyer. Like if you're like, like say you won your league with like Russell Wilson and like fucking like I don't know some other old asshole like Kirk
Amen, sir.
and you can
How are you
finally
not
like
over the
replace your
moon?
fucking quarterback. Oh, it's great. No, it's a good time to have these picks because you have like 4 stud quarterbacks pushing so much value down, and Bo Nix and Michael Penis are going to sneak into the end of this first round to push more value down. So, and you got a fucking random generational tight end, and they're also pushing flex value down. So it's a good time to have these picks.
I
Yeah, I
think he
guess
just says a cliff, Alexander, because it's the generational top 10 picks that everyone loves, and then it's these end of the first round real life picks that we're talking about.
I really cannot understand why you take Bowers other than because you're told to.
Like, go back. Look, here's what you gotta do. Take off the LA Raiders goggles and just go back
Okay,
and
we'll
like
take all the
remember
LB,
positives
Brock
but
away.
okay.
Bowers.
All right.
Brock Bowers was like Brock Bowers was that dude. Like Kyle Pitts did really cool shit, like stretching the field and like getting long like lobs and like catching touchdowns. Like Brock Bowers like had designed plays for himself and like was a key focal point of the offense and like kicked ass and is actually worth the hype. He is legitimately fucking awesome. It just you're gonna have a very suspect situation with this Aiden Connell and fucking
Well, at
Minshew
least I'm
and
told
Devontae Adams and all these assholes in the Raider Nation. I get it,
at
but
least the
like,
quarterbacks are so good next year that the Falcons are drafting a backup at 8. At least there's
I'm with
help
you.
coming
Look,
for the Raiders.
I'm
Huh?
with you. Look, I'm with you. But like, it's just like you would. I would feel so silly like passing on like I don't know.
Drafting an
Like I
elite
get it.
receiver in one of the best receiver classes we've been told has ever,
I mean,
touched the
like
earth. Huh?
that's kind of, but like Xavier Worthy really got his like first round stamp of approval when he broke the 40. Like he
When
was
he,
always
when
kind
he
of
was the
projected.
fastest player to ever run the 40. Yeah, that really makes me think
I
I
mean,
do
but like that
not
doesn't
want that
really.
player. God, I
That
want him
doesn't.
far away from my
I
team.
mean, A&F. I'm all about it, but can these bros
I'd
here
take
agree
I would
with
take
me?
I would take Worthy, I'd take McConkey, I'd take Thomas, and I'd take Keon Coleman ahead of Brock Bowers. Facts.
Okay, that's a little aggressive.
Facts. It's
God,
just true.
Keon fucking Coleman.
Big time.
See,
Big
Keon
time.
Coleman's an example of
I
someone
wouldn't
that,
fucking blink, Curd.
like, I feel like, look, you looked at Stephon Diggs in that offense, you looked at Gabe Davis in that offense, you looked at fucking proven NFL wide receivers who were given, like, like Quentin Johnson was given a full time role. Like,
Wait. So now,
sometimes these
oh,
dudes, sometimes these dudes just aren't cut it out just because of the opportunity. It's like,
wait. So hold on.
and I'm saying Quentin Johnson probably had a better profile and had more capital than fucking Keon Coleman.
Wow. Okay. All right. We're not gonna agree because
Am I wrong, Kate Lippy? Like, I'm just saying, like, there's a world where Keon Coleman doesn't live up to his expectations because he may
that
not
world
be a
doesn't
great
exist
separator.
for Brock fucking Bowers on the Raiders.
But he's like actually a good football
How?
player, and he's like
I
like
forgot all these other guys. Just gorilla
Coleman might be
cock.
too, just for the record. I mean, he like I
he's a freak.
I understand the skepticism with him. I do, but I mean, I don't think he's any more speculative than some of these other guys. Like I think he's got talent. Like whether or not, to your point, as the number one option in Buffalo or whatever option he's going to be with Kincaid in there, whether or not he can ultimately deliver on it, I think it's fair to question that. But as far as like whether he's worth taking highly in a rookie draft, like I think without question he is.
He's
Oh yeah,
projected. He's 202 in ADP right now. You're telling me you can get a guy who was drafted first round to that wide receiver room with Josh Allen throwing the ball, and you're not going to be ecstatic again?
Yeah,
second.
Wait,
I have no idea how Josh Allen is like the number one QB in Dynasty redraft, and he's just going to be throwing it to all these fucking halfwits that can't
Well,
catch the ball and just
Alexander,
suck.
that's partly because Stephon Diggs sucked the last 8 weeks of the year, and
A&F,
Josh Allen
have
was
you
the
heard of
quarterback
Mahomes?
one.
I have
He's
heard.
this kid out of Texas Tech.
I have heard of Mahomes. I think the
Does
CPU.
Oh,
something
there he
called
is.
the air raid.
I'm so interested to see where this point's going.
No, you said there's a quarterback number one overall who's going to be thrown to a bunch of halfwits. with no receiver eclipsing, anything
Where Mahomes
resembling
goes.
wide receiver poor production.
I'm just saying. I think like the idea that there's a cliff separating Bowers from this guy it just snapped something in my brain. Still, I think that's ridiculous.
I want to hear your opinion because although I fuck with you, I do value your opinion a lot on this. Do you think like chasing just pure opportunity in an offense, like
It's not
I've
pure.
done it.
There's. We're just saying
Dude,
there's no
talent there
talent.
too.
What?
Keon Coleman is like 70% opportunity, dude.
Yeah.
He's like a big, beefy, athletic freak that can't separate. I don't know, dude. I'm not with it. He has to be really good at playing wide receiver to really kick ass in the NFL. And you don't just fucking fade that. You don't fade Brock Bowers for that, is what I'm saying.
I'm talking about Worthy. I thought that's the discussion we were having as far as Worthy versus Bowers.
Worthy's down to the cliff with all these other people that don't know how to play football.
All I'm saying, and y'all, and I'll hush up because I'm on lots of pre-workout and I'm rambling. Is after 108,
You're just
after 108.
After 108, it becomes like you have to recognize there's a massive prospect / talent cliff. I think, and it's just it's not that like I hate Xavier Worthy or Brian Thomas or Ladd or any of these dudes or even Keon. I'll probably have lots of Keon shares. It's just like I think you're doing yourself a disservice chasing that juicy opportunity of being the new Stephon Diggs by taking him over someone like Bowers or Rome or one of these fucking top 8 guys.
Yes,
it's weird because I agree with you up until you start mentioning all the other people. I feel very strong that you're right about Keon with that respect. Yes. But I really like Ladd. I really like Brian Thomas. I really like AD. Worthy, I'm not sold on. I don't think there's a chasm. First of all, I don't think there's a chasm between 1.08 and those 3 guys. And also, I don't even know if Bowers is 1.08. I really, really do not like that landing spot. I don't know how you could feel good about taking Bowers as potentially not even the best tight end on his offense over AD Mitchell. I do not see how. I did it. Damn. I did it in a pre-draft rookie draft, and I'm looking back and I'm like, thank God I got AD with the next pick.
So you could get AD like 6 picks later, 7 picks later after Bowers, at least.
Yeah, but I don't. Unlike you, Lippy, I don't have every single fucking pick in the second round, so I actually have to
keep slandering me, Andy. Every piece of hate makes the rookie draft get longer and fuckfest.
Oh. It's not hate. There's no hate. I'm just saying, if I like a guy and I have the 1.09, I have to take him there. I can't just exercise the luxury of being like, well, I might pass on with the 2.01 and the 2.02 and the 2.03 and the 2.04 and the 2.05. I'm going to take him
mess around and take him 212 because you can, even though you wanted him at 203. Wow.
I don't understand how you can be high on AD Mitchell and have doubts about Worthy when Worthy outproduced him in every single way.
Mostly because Worthy's not very good, but also
that's certainly a take you can have, but I mean, is there any basis for it at all, or is it just
the
guy who has diabetes?
I seen it.
All right, now hold on real quick. We can come back to whatever the fuck Andy's talking about in just a second, but CPU auto pick wants Jonathan Brooks to go here. What are y'all's thoughts on a running back going in the first round?
Is there a screen that we should be following?
There's a mock draft link in the Fuckfest chat.
I mean, I don't know how Ladd and Brian Thomas don't actually go before him in a real draft.
That's what I'm saying.
I feel like that's a no-brainer at the end of the day.
I guess it depends on what the league format. Again, if you have a stupid rule like points per carry, then maybe just maybe somebody can talk themselves into one of those guys. But I think especially both of those receivers, they have the chance to take a lion's share of the targets on their team and make a huge contribution to where I think Brooks and Benson could take time to really establish themselves.
Especially Benson. Benson.
Yeah. So I
would lean Benson.
Yeah.
What? who's he gonna beat out? I mean, what?
James Conner, sir. James Conner's only just been a stud every single year.
Yeah,
Dude, he's inevitable. I hate him so much, but he's inevitable.
Yeah,
He
I think-
refuses
Dude,
to
he's been
see
inevitable
carries.
for like 9 years. The gravy train comes to an end at some point.
I think
I'm sure
path,
he does.
the path to the lion's share is going to be much quicker for Brooks than Benson.
They're just gonna draft another Trey Benson next
I
year.
don't-
Like he's not.
I don't know if that's right. I don't know if
no,
I don't know
I
if
was
Brooks
letting him
necessarily
know.
has a better path.
I was telling you. I was informing you. I was telling you.
It was a courtesy notification.
Yeah. You were being informed. Well, like I guess by show of hands, who would go Brooks and who would go Benson here? I would go Brooks.
I'd go
Or-
Brooks
or
just
do you
for the
go
draft capital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got to
Yeah.
beat out Chuba Hubbard, and he's got to recover from his ACL. But
Oh, no.
he'll have time. That's not great.
I mean, I'd go
Recover
Brooks as
from it,
well.
right?
All right. We're here at the
and you get insulated value because if he sucks year one, you can always fall in the excuse, oh, he's recovering from an ACL. We all know that takes like a year for a running back to get there. And then Chuba Hubbard's no longer that relevant. It's a much clearer path than you fucking get Trey Benson. You just have to like smash your head into the TV while watching James Conner just continually get every goal line carry. That's
Yeah,
never
just 3 yards in a cloud of dust into oblivion.
I'm not gonna make a lot of hay over this, but I think there's a situation in 8 months where we're all like Trey Benson is like the championship key and Brooks is a total nothing burger, and we all look back at this and be like, what were we thinking? Like, if everyone is as low on Rice and the Panthers offense as they are, what is Brooks really going to be able to do in that kind of a situation? He's still fighting. He's still playing behind a massive bloated guarantee in Miles Sanders. Chuba, like, hate him or love him, still exists and played competently last year. He is a human who knows the game plan already, so he's theoretically got an advantage on Brooks going in. In Arizona, you have a potentially explosive offense with Benson being a home run hitting running back who's got the ability to really take punishment. I don't know. What's that?
He was taking the third round though. Like, doesn't spice you off a little bit? The third running backs kind of are shitty,
Curn, how can you?
Wait, wasn't he the second running back to go?
Yeah, but he went in the third round, is what he's saying.
He won the third round, and like it's.
I mean, Brees went in the second round. I don't know. I mean, you get I mean, where did James Conner go? Like fucking
fourth, I think.
You get opportunity.
I mean, Aaron Jones was a 4th round pick. Kamara was a 3rd round.
Aaron Jones was a 5th round pick.
Oh, 5th round. Yeah, it's round does not matter with running backs.
No, the running backs from like 2017 and like back when they were like really good is like different than the running backs last like couple years though. Look at the last couple of years running backs. Look at the class that Trey Benson's in right now, and just tell me he's an outlier.
I'm confused with what point you're like. We look backwards at running back classes.
Curn, I think you're just overthinking this at the end of the day. If Trey Benson gets the opportunity, he's an absolute stud. Just like any other running back in the entire world.
Karen, do you think you might be overthinking it?
I don't. You can hate on a running back class as a whole all you want. It's irrelevant.
All I'm saying is, last year it's Kendre Miller, Tajay Spears, A-Chain, Bigsby. Those are the third round fucking running backs last year.
And who actually got the opportunity? A-Chain, and he was worth it. If you get opportunity as a running back,
Spears got a bit of work last year.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess like Rachaad White and James Cook was a 2nd round pick, but I guess Rachaad White worked out. Very early 3rd round pick.
Seeming like this might not have been a fully thought out take.
I'll say this. I mean, I'm having fun watching Curn kind of flounder, but I would still take Brooks ahead of Benson. But I totally understand what you're saying, Andy. It's very possible we look back and say, oh boy, that was a fucked up thing to do. I don't think that's what's going to happen, but it's very possible. The truth is they're both going at the back of the first, and I would have probably taken Keon Coleman there. So, question here, Lippy, you have this pick, at least currently. The 201 who would you go with?
Next,
Oh, stop the presses. Lippy has a pick in the second round.
Well, for now, let's not get carried away.
For now, it's entirely possible that changes. I think he might be dealing with some type of animal thing. I can hear their
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Sorry, one of the animals went crazy. Wow, we are gonna love the second round, and we are gonna milk it like we said. You guys don't deserve a second round in the last.
For Curn and Andy who weren't present during this part, Lippy said that he's going to maximize the clock on every second round pick that he has. So he'll
Do you want to just?
But Alexander, we are easily going.
Lippy Cricket told me he's not going to do any more crack.
Just because we know you're not going to go Bo Nix with the 202, Alexander.
That's true.
We would probably either go Benson or Coleman with the 201 in this situation.
All right. For my purposes, you're going Coleman.
I actually just checked too. I think I actually did draft Trey Benson in like several of these startup leagues anyway. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just having.
To be fair, I was only doing that to get Curn to take devil's advocate against all of his Trey Benson positions. Just for the record, I'm a brother.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm just saying, like, I'm going to recognize that this year's class was not lighting the world on fire coming in, so I'm not going to try to chase. I'm trying to learn from my mistakes of chasing opportunity and chasing flashy new situations because I've gotten burned on it countless times.
Like with Keon Coleman, drafting rookie quarterbacks in the first 3 rounds.
Exactly, and you know what? I still haven't learned from my mistakes. I just took Jaden Daniels. So look, like, I'm hedging the activity, but as you can see, looking at all the positions I have that Andy just so nicely reminded us of, it's already April. I'm highly exposed to Trey Benson stock right now. Anyway, so like I got my foot so far up my ass right now, but like this is in order to stop me from really making bad decisions. In the next upcoming leagues. I mean,
Yeah, this is where you're most comfortable, Curn. We get it.
Yeah, it's a good spot to be in. You gotta always be swiveling on your feet. Always be questioning what you're doing.
Foot as far up your ass as humanly possible. That's where you thrive.
Speaking of foot up their ass, A&F, who are you taking here?
So this is actually like a little thought exercise for me because it very well could be the situation I'm in now because of the trade I did with Lippy, because I now own the 102 or the 202, and currently I'm thinking between Benson Corum, AD, and maybe Parasol, but I kind of don't. The real reason I want Parasol is because my Lord and Savior told me that he's fucking insane and unreal. But I haven't done any actual looking into him. I just believe anything CJ Stroud tells me, and I always will. So, for the purposes of this, I'm going to do what CJ told me to do. But I really don't know what I would do there. I really don't know. That's a tough call. But
I think it's got to be either AD or Pearsall. I think Corum is doing exactly what Curn is saying as far as like chasing what you believe might be opportunities, even though I don't think Los Angeles is a good opportunity for him. Like I think those two guys have your best shot of the people remaining to like actually contribute for you in year one.
Yeah, I think. And so this is my thing about Corum, because Curran just had so much fun lolling when he got picked. I love Kyren Williams, but I really think that Kyren's still going to be the guy. That Corum just kind of limits Kyren upside more so than carve out a space for himself, at least right now. And then who knows what happens later, because I don't.
Totally unrelated question, ANF. Do you have any Kyren shares in leagues that we are both in?
I don't think so.
Okay. Let me know if that changes, because I would love to lowball the shit out of you for his contract.
Well,
that actually goes for any player, ANF. It's not just restricted to Kyren.
Not players that I don't like.
Well, no, but that's the thing. I love Kyron. And if I had him somewhere, I wouldn't sell him. I'm such a big Kyron fan, and it just makes me like a little like, oh shucks, that Corum got taken. I think Kyron's still a RB1 next year, but I think it removes some of the top from that roof. But I just wish it hadn't happened, or at least around.
I was mainly just trolling you because I knew you liked Kyron a lot. Look, if I'm gonna dog on Trey Benson, who I own 80% of my shares of already, I'm gonna have to dog on Blake Corum as well for the same reason. Like it's just a weak running back class, and you got round 3. It's good RB equity, but I mean I don't know if he's necessarily going to come in and demand even 30 or 40% of that workload. I still think it's going to be the lion's share of Kyron with this guy kind of spelling him out, and maybe he shows that in camp. The thing about Kyron though is I don't know. There's been all these fucking the Thomas Rawls and these. Who's the
Chris
asshole
Carson.
from fucking the Ravens who fucking did the Irish tap dancing? Alex Collins, R.I.P. All these guys who have these 1-year flares and
what about Chris Carson?
Chris Carson, Philip Lindsay, these guys who come out
Well, we are not comparing Philip Lindsay to Kyron Williams.
I can't believe we just got a Thomas Rawls reference in the year of our Lord 2024.
Dude, Kyron Williams from a prospect profile was slow and small coming out of school.
Well,
that was
wait. How are you going to slander Philip Lindsay compared to Kyron right now?
I'm just saying,
Wait a second.
Kyron Williams coming out
in the sense that they're 1-year wonders.
Dude, he had a very, very weak athletic profile. No one can deny it. Go look it up. I won't.
No. Kyron ran a slow 40. I don't think people thought he was slow.
If you're 40 and he was undersized, and he
right.
had the production to defend himself, getting whatever 5th round draft pick he got. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I think there were a lot of analysts who saw that 40 time and were like, "Nah, he's faster than that." That's
sure.
You know what I mean? I don't think
we look at the Xavier Worthy 40. Look, this all goes back to I'm not putting all my merit on it, but running backs, I've always looked at athletic profile and if they can handle a volume, just opportunity, can they bust ass? And Kyron was a huge, in my opinion, a massive outlier that is now the ceiling has been hit for this guy, and I think it's great. But I think that's the only thing I would say that has form as a warning is I don't think he's guaranteed.
What did his ceiling involve him playing all the games?
I don't know. I chased all those dudes, all the Alex Collins, Philip Lindsay, Chris Carson.
This is all Curn going back over his exes.
Don't try to gaslight me and say I'm crazy. Y'all know I'm right. There are guys who did not test well, who had massive 1 years that came out. The loyalty is just not there.
It sounds like it's there for McVay.
But couldn't you argue that
loves him?
It could be
that Corum's not really the athletic specimen either, so it doesn't really it to the extent Kyron's not. It's not. I wouldn't say that Corum is necessarily a massive threat to eat into that. If we're purely based on athletic profiles, he's small and undersized and has a lot of the same issues.
Curn, who are you picking here?
I'm done dogging on Kyron Williams. For the record, I mean, more foot and ass. I'm probably gonna have lots of Kyron Williams. I'm just saying, it's not nearly as I'm just saying it's not all sunshine and rainbows to that dude. But right here, here's what y'all can talk me out of. Talk me out of taking Bo Nix here, a first round, a top 12 overall quarterback pick, right here at the 203. Why wouldn't you take the quarterback?
Because he sucks.
He was taking 12th overall.
Yeah, no one drafted that highly has ever sucked.
It's absolutely worth it at the 2-3 every day of the week, Curn.
Every day of the week. You heard the man.
Wait, what's up?
It's worth it every day of the week. 2-3, you can get a quarterback taking 12th overall.
And how many times on Sunday, Lippy?
Twice.
I'll do you one better. I think you should draft him even higher in all the leagues I'm in with you. Draft him as high as you can.
Point, I look at these guys right here. I think who could have more value going into next season? Maybe Andy's story about Trey Benson. Well, Andy's story about Trey Benson kind of gets me a little more excited about my Trey Benson shares. But like, I look at like Xavier Legette, and like,
Would you rather have Bo Nix or would you rather have Troy Franklin? Same team, same college.
Are you who? What?
Listen, I love Troy Franklin as much as the next guy. I won't even go that far, you know.
And like A.D. Mitchell, A.D. Mitchell is someone. A.D. Mitchell is someone I was really high on, but like the fact that the NFL let him fall like that, like really kind of confirms.
If you hadn't picked him in all these other offseason leagues, you'd be talking differently. That's just fact.
Well, and I mean, then
are you as worried about DK Metcalf sliding that far?
Yeah.
I mean, DK Metcalf is a much different story, though. DK Metcalf is a fucking.
Is he? He had a worse athletic profile.
DK Metcalf?
You know who also profiles a lot like DK Metcalf is Brian Thomas, who Curn fucking thinks is down below.
Curn talking about DK Metcalf. He's only thinking about that one picture where he posed shirtless before the draft. That's the only thing he's thinking about as far as athletic profile goes.
I'm not hyping.
Curn saw 0 shirtless photos of Kyron Williams with AJ Brown before the draft. That's his athletic profile criticism.
I'm just saying, like, what round did A.D. Mitchell go in? He went in the 4th round?
He went the 2nd round. Are you fucking off your rocker?
Let me see. Did he go?
I think he went higher than DK.
He went in the 2nd round.
He went 52 overall.
Maybe I missed my fucking.
DK was like 48.
That pre-work? Did you snort that pre-workout or did you drink it like normal?
I think I watched him fall so far, and I just kind of like stopped paying attention.
Assumed he went in the 6th.
After like the first day.
Yeah, I was just pretty upset, Tate. I was very upset about the whole A.D. Mitchell thing because I was.
No, I get that. Like, not a first rounder off your board. I get it.
I mean, look, I'm just saying he went behind a bunch of other assholes that I didn't like as much, and so that kind of makes me a little nervous.
It's also how the draft works,
Curn,
but okay.
You have a minute left on the clock. You got to pick somebody.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like why don't you just take Bo Nix here?
I mean, what would you rather have Bo Nix or Michael Peters?
Just for the record, DK went 64th overall.
I'm not trying to say where the person went is like what's dictated. I'm saying like.
No. I'm just saying. Ed and I went. He literally had a better athletic profile and went earlier than DK Metcalf.
Maybe I got to revisit my A.D. Mitchell stocks, but for this purposes, I'm taking the fucking 12th overall quarterback.
All right.
Yeah, I don't hate it, but I would probably go AD first.
Just because I took Neighbors into 103, I need a nice quarterback to balance out my draft. But you've given me a nice reassurance on the leagues that also I am well oversaturated with preliminary A.D. Mitchell stocks. So I appreciate y'all verifying my bias, but I'm at least a little more sour on it to where I'm going to take the 12th overall quarterback over him.
I'll just throw this out there. I would take the 8th overall quarterback over him.
You'll take Michael Penis?
Yep.
Well, you're on the clock right now, Tate.
You can take Michael Penis right now.
Michael Penis is available.
Well, no, I'm taking AD right here.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's the good pick. But I also don't think, like, as much as I love Cloud and Curn, I really don't think taking Bo Nix there is terrible. I don't think it's what I would do. I also don't think it's horrific.
He's not horrific. A first-round pick on him would be horrific.
He's being ranked over these wide receivers in the first round because he has the capital. Not that I agree with it. Just if you want to have insulated value, I mean, I don't know. He could have Bryce Young year last year where he's like the 32nd quarterback, and still you could trade him for Jaden Daniels because he's in the Broncos. It sucks.
Kind of seems like you might agree with it.
I mean, look, and now I get insulated value. So next year, when fucking Waters comes up to me and says, "Hey, you want the shiny, big, tall, stupid, fucking broken quarterback who's gonna break his leg next offseason?" I'll say, "Sure, take my Bo Nix, who sucked ass last year. Get a return on value for the fucking 10." I guess 106 is where the James went this draft.
Well, he plummeted in this draft, so that's tough to see. But those character rumors that came out about him was a real bummer.
I feel like I'm getting gaslit up the fucking wazoo.
Wow,
So right here,
speaking of AD and character concerns, did you see the Colts GM go to the mat for AD? That was awesome.
It was, and then I saw Eric Ebron tweet that it was the same guy who torpedoed him throughout the league and said that he quit on the team and everything, and I was like, huh.
Yeah, and then I saw that it was actually the same guy who gave up not only his own farm, but everyone else's farm on the block for Carson Wentz. And I said, to heck with that guy.
Well, I mean, look, it's tough to say nice things.
And then I saw it was the guy who signed Phillip Rivers. And then I saw it was the guy who continues to malign Andrew Luck's retirement as the reason that the Colts haven't had any success over the last 7 years.
Listen, if we're being honest, I would be rattled by Andrew Luck retiring on me until I quit the job. I would never get over that. I'd be so furious at him forever. I'd be like, I thought we were good. Why would you do this to me? I'd never forgive him.
I feel like he probably knew it was coming.
Oh, you think? When he just up and retired during a preseason game?
Yeah, I do. I tend to think that he knew that was coming.
I tend to think that's wrong.
All right.
Okay.
So I definitely love Lippy taking Polk at 205. Would y'all take Michael Pettis before any of those players?
Oh my God, he took Polk at where?
I would take
205.
Trey Benson. I would take Trey Benson at that point, just because now I'm kind of bought in on it again. And he has gaslit me his whole Trey Benson hype.
Reverse gaslit.
Man, have an independent opinion one time. My God.
Look, I'm fragile right now, boys. I'm fucking fresh off the rookie drafts. I'm fresh off the NFL draft. My mind's a sponge. I'm trying to learn from my mistakes.
Wait,
You demonstrate you haven't learned from any of them.
By my over fucking exposed Trey Benson and fucking AD Mitchell shares? Yes, you're right. But you know what? It's April. There's time to learn, Tate.
Okay.
Sure.
Now,
speaking of learning, I just learned that Polk was taken in the early second round.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah, 37.
Tate, where's my written apology?
What apology?
I liked Polk. You said no.
I didn't say no. I said he wasn't going to be a first round pick.
Oh, look, he's got a lot of words to explain his no now.
Guys, I think New England might be okay.
I think they're going to be fun.
I love Drake May. I think the offense is going to be kind of good. So, I don't know. But I say that, and I always get clowned for it, and I'm almost always wrong. So, it's going to auto-select.
If you like the Patriots for having a pair of second and fourth round rookie wide receivers, let me introduce you to the Tennessee Titans.
Well,
yeah, but their receivers on the Patriots are good.
They play in the up-and-coming division of the NFL, and they are the guys that do not get to have Lunchables at lunch. So you're not allowed to say anything nice about them. They fucking blow. That's just the way it is. I'm sorry. Let's see here.
Who are the Titans receivers?
Calvin Ridley, first round pick. Calvin Ridley, first round pick. DeAndre Hopkins, high second round pick.
DeAndre Hopkins was a first round pick.
High fifth round pick.
I was terrified, Andy, that the Titans were going to take Rome. I was like, and
some of us were not worried about that at all.
Rome.
I was worried about that. I thought
I wanted him very badly.
I was going to be.
I don't know how I feel about a developmental project at tackle, but whatever.
They always pan out, is what you were going to say, I'm sure.
At least on the Titans, they do.
Yes. Well, the good news is this one doesn't already seem to have any problems like what's-his-face did when as soon as he was drafted.
Isaiah Wilson had no problems. The only problem he had was that chick who wouldn't get off him when he got picked. And his mom cleared that.
There's that.
Real quick.
Did his mom clear the DUI or whatever up for him?
If we're going to talk about DUIs being problems for our top pick,
right?
We're not in a position to throw stones. this
No.
year.
No, you are not.
Yeah. Go Titans.
I choose to believe it's Andy making these noises.
Yeah,
we
Perry
got
It
also
is.
groans.
Don't let anyone tell you it's a dog. That's Andy. He's very frustrated that they took Devontae Sweat as high as they did when he had that pending DUI charge.
What kind of
I love that it crescendoed as you were talking.
Did y'all see
Arsalan
that?
Lloyd is the pick?
Yeah, that's
Did
what
y'all
I was
see
going to
that?
ask about. Yeah.
Whew.
Did y'all see that sleeper alert that just came in that said J.K. Dobbins said his Achilles injury was like a walk in the park, like a sprained ankle?
Yeah, JK famously unable to diagnose his own recovery. So I'm not gonna.
Well, no, a 3-year injury could be a walk in the park compared to his last one. So,
Yeah, Andy famously trusted that he was like almost back to 100% when that video came out of him at practice, unable to walk straight.
and what did he do after that, Tate?
Nothing.
He picked up 5 yards carry for a couple games.
Okay. Well, those couple games must have been really good.
Yeah, it was 5 yards of carry.
Yeah.
So, real quick, not to interrupt this, I don't think I would go Marshawn Lloyd there. I think there's a couple of people I'd take in front of him. I think I would take Troy Franklin, I'd take Roman Wilson, and I would definitely take Ray Davis. I think Ray Davis is kind of an interesting running back prospect.
You didn't mention Jalen Wright.
Yeah, what about Jalen
Well,
Wright?
Andy hates that you didn't mention Jalen Wright. You could hear it just then.
Jalen Wright's electric as shit. Now Andy's gone.
Andy, we're talking
that,
about him,
Curn?
all right? Jesus.
He trailed
Oh,
off
my
it.
God. There's no pleasing this guy.
All right, so y'all love Jalen Wright. We'll make that the pick here.
I think that I'm kind of baffled by the Marshawn Lloyd pick, and I like Marshawn Lloyd, but I just don't see him getting a ton of play this year or for a while because I think Jacobs is going to dominate that backfield.
I do too. I think.
Dude, the fucking dog noise. You gotta put your camera on fucking. You gotta put some.
It's so funny. I love it.
All right.
You got to give the people what they want. They're clamoring for more dog noise.
It's so funny.
Like A&F's talking, it's like it sounds like Andrew's is getting triggered by what A&F's saying.
It's like he's
Just
so,
literally every point. Like I actually think Marshawn Lloyd can get the music.
I love it. He's so upset by what we're saying.
A&F, how do you feel about the fucking Ben Sinnott?
I have no opinion. I other than I don't envision me drafting him anywhere. I just don't care.
Is he going to actually play tight end? Or I saw somebody talking about him being like a hybrid fullback type thing. Is that
Well,
that
makes me more sure of my position, Mr. Tate. That's
I don't know if I have that right.
Super versatile and can be deployed in multiple formations.
I'm sure. Everyone could.
Everyone ignore that. This is a Chiggy argument. That's all this is.
The Chiggy argument?
This is Andy defending his super athletic tight end who has yet to really do everything that people thought he would. It's fine.
Or anything.
Can you do a single time that Chiggy was lined up as a fullback in college for the pros?
Man.
I genuinely couldn't tell you. I didn't watch any Chiggy film.
Yeah, well, you should have. He played a college football game within a week of getting a boiling hot pot of water. Oh, wait, no, it was John A. Never mind. Carry on.
Okay, well, now that we established that, back to Ben Sinnott or whatever, I would go Wilson, Franklin, Davis, all those over him, I think.
Yeah, I would too.
Wait, Ray Davis?
I actually...
Yeah,
over Franklin?
So did the CPU, yeah.
Wow.
But I like Troy Franklin. But I did that just because I like Ray Davis.
I would go multiple receivers over him, to be honest.
Yeah. Let's see. We'll do
Yeah, I've got
this.
no interest in Ray Davis. I mean, he's going to have to beat out Frank Gore, who's got 23 years of experience under his belt.
Oh, the CPU auto selected. Okay, let's see here.
What about Jermaine Burton? He's got all kinds of character issues, but he can work out.
If we're in the third round, I would definitely throw a dart.
Dudes in the draft.
Yeah, I actually don't. Of the top 4 receivers, I don't think there's a bad pick here. I loved the idea of Malachi Corley going somewhere cool, but he didn't. He went to the Jets. It's not cool. That's not going to be fun. And makes me sad because I thought that would just be a fun player for me to draft and trade up to get in the 3rd. But that's not going to happen. It's a shame.
You don't think offensive wizard Nathaniel Hackett can draw up some Malachi Corley plays?
No, which is a bummer.
Shocking.
I really think I'm trying to think of a worse place for him to have gone for me. You know who's interesting? Who's interesting in the 4th round is we'll get to that later. Actually, well, someone was going to say something and I cut you off.
Seattle.
I like the Burton pick. Honestly, like in the 3rd round, I get the character concerns and everything, but 3rd round picks in rookie drafts, I feel like they're a shot in the dark anyway. And that guy's got potential to be, like he could easily be the wide receiver 2 there as soon as next year.
Yeah,
I'd go Roman over Burton.
I would too, but I don't hate going Burton there.
I think Burton, Wilson, and Franklin really are. Curn, you can stack right here. Are kind of the same pick.
Stack. No, I'm going to diversify my investment in the Denver offense with fucking painkiller fucking Sean Payton. I'm going to fade stacking this situation. I'm going to take Lord Wilson.
They're supposed to.
Oh, you are learning
receivers. They're supposed to be pretty good at that.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
I liked him in college. He was just a all around. I don't think there was anything that from the little bit of Michigan I watched, there wasn't anything he was blowing people away, but he was just good. That's all that he was.
He reminds me of Scary Terry, but actually athletic.
Makes sense.
Yeah, after Troy Franklin, you're kind of stuck with a whole bucket of assholes for the rest of the draft. So it's kind of just pick your poison.
Yeah, I mean, I still think I still have Franklin firmly above any of these other guys, so I'd take him.
All right, Lippy's
out.
Lippy picks Malachi Corley.
Interesting.
There we go. We're gonna make the CPU's auto pick here. It's gonna beep at us a whole lot.
I don't hate the Jatavian Sanders pick.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about Eric All? I've heard he's kind of like a dude who used to get hurt a lot, but shows flashes of being kind of athletic.
As we all love selected number 115 by the Cincinnati Bengals in the 2024 NFL Draft.
Is that what you think?
I mean,
that's just my opinion.
I mean, that certainly seems to be some facts. I probably couldn't say one thing about half these assholes down here.
No, it's not a bad dart. I've heard the same, Curn. I guess we watched the same clip, but
Ray's gonna go for Nacho Vidal here.
If he gets to me, you bet I will.
You know who we're gonna pick here? We're gonna pick the Ohio State stack. We'll pick Caden. Call it.
And for me, I'm going to who am I gonna pick? I don't know, fucking seems he's not getting old, but
Yep.
I don't know. There's a
Lock
world.
it in.
There's a world.
That's fair. I think he's good. I mean, He's at the very least, if nothing else, he's fast, which they've shown they can at least do something with.
Yeah, just like with Joe Williams.
Yeah. There's a road to success in San Fran running the football with Isaac Guru, A&F's known big board favorite. So he's now on my team.
Who's
He's now on my team
who's
in
got a
round 4.
faster path to carries, Jonathan Brooks or Gura?
I like Guru a lot more than fucking, Braylon Allen getting on the field or fucking, this other asshole.
Is
Steve
Braylon
Vidal.
Allen draftable for a non-Brees manager?
I mean, if you buy into the it makes sense to have handcuffs from other people's team on your team, then yes. But
I don't think he's draftable for any reason.
You don't think if you have Brees, you would pick him up?
I'd throw a pick on him if I had Brees.
Are we just deliberately turning a blind eye to the fact that Luke McCaffrey's still on the board? Or is there
I
something
am,
a bit-
yes. I'm turning a blind eye to it.
Okay, just making sure. A third round wide receiver who just started playing wide receiver 2 years ago?
Yes.
We're not interested. We'd rather have Isaac Guerrero.
I bet you drafted Braxton Miller really high, didn't you?
Did he play wide receiver at all?
Yeah.
In college?
Yeah, he played at Rice. My sister actually knows him. It's interesting. We're supposed to root.
No. I'm saying Braxton. Did Braxton play wide? I thought he was just a quarterback, and then
he was. I was just fucking around.
You could take the son of the greatest wide receiver of all time.
I'm really I love Tez Walker, but I love me some Vidal, like Andy said, so that's who I'm going with.
Oh wow, the Braylon Allen pick by Lippy instantly.
I like the
Rattler
Travis
Travis
also.
Oh my God, Luke McCaffrey didn't even get picked.
Team 12.
How is that
Team
that
12
much of an
was so
outrage
ready to
for
be
you?
done that he didn't even pick him.
He was a third round wide receiver.
Yeah, those don't bust at all.
It's not about it busting. It's about you should not have a third round wide receiver still on the board unless it's
a lot of these
unless it's fucking Velas Jones Jr.
8 of these people.
There's so many examples of that, of guys who just aren't that great. Diami Brown?
Diami Brown was good in college.
Okay. And what's he doing in the league?
Are you just naming third round? I'm not disputing that people bust.
No, yeah, I'm
in the third round. I'm a Titans fan. I
receivers.
literally spent 10 minutes on the Bleedy Ray Wilson Wikipedia page last night.
That's a cry for help if I've ever heard one.
Saying, if you've got a third round wide receiver with real draft capital invested, even if it is someone who is so obviously a bust as Velas Jones Jr., they've got to be gone by 4.12. That's all I'm saying. I don't think that's that hot of a take.
Tez Walker didn't get drafted.
So what? So
that guy sucks. Counterpoint.
Disagree.
I thought he was all right.
We know you love big, fast guys who can't catch footballs.
It's my favorite kind of receiver.
So, on a non-fantasy point of view, do y'all have any big takeaways from the draft? Oh, Bevo couldn't show up today. What do y'all think about the Michael Penis pick by Atlanta?
We're all on the same page.
So that's
the dumbest shit we've ever seen.
So that's the thing. Curn and I and Lippy have been listening to Jack for the last, 6 days since the draft, and it's crazy. It's crazy. Apparently, it is a fucking galaxy brain move by the Falcons, and it is such a solid pick. I think, Curn, correct me if I'm wrong, I do not want to slander Bevo's name any more than I already have by saying what he said, already.
No, I mean, this tracks completely with the truth. He has indeed said all of this.
I believe he said there is no one else they should have drafted there instead of Michael Penis.
He said he would understand if they took a tackle because you can always use a tackle. And I was like, well, that's fair. Yeah, you could always use a top 8 overall tackle. I mean,
You could
sure, like
use it to
like I could, like sure,
anything.
like anyone could use those, I guess. But like like fuck that. Take Michael fucking Penis,
The
who's like,
only thing that would be acceptable to pick there, except for Michael Penis, in Jack's eyes, would have been a tackle. Nothing else. Nothing.
yeah, I would have appreciated him being on just so like I know it's like late in the pod, but I would have appreciated hearing Tate and Andy try to talk some sense into him on that because it's I still
No other
like I'm
no
trying
other
to
position
rationalize
could
it.
have helped the Falcons more than this pick. None.
I would. My only counterpoint would be anyone who actually thinks that is not someone capable of having sense talked into them. So I'm not sure how much we would have been able to do on that. But that's
Yeah,
crazy. I mean,
probably
that's
not.
crazy.
It is a beautiful mind that Jack has, and sometimes it just ends up with these very peculiar ideas that make no sense.
We
This is
got
one
in
of
a very we got in like a 7-day dispute, Jack and I, about super flex for redraft leagues, and I'm just suggesting we have it. And I'm not saying that everyone has to
wait,
do
no,
it.
no, don't lump
Like
these together. Don't.
well, hold on. A&F straight up says, Curran, I don't want to do super flex. I don't like it. And you know what? That's fine. I can live with that. And Jack has to take it a step further and go pull out like historical variance analysis about like the difference between point disparities of tight ends and kickers versus quarterbacks and show how quarterbacks are more unpredictable than fucking kickers. And I've lost my fucking mind. It literally made me lose my mind. I was so upset for like literally a week. I get like the day he dropped that chart in the chat, ANF, I got no work done. I wasn't billable at all. I was so upset. I sat there and just texted y'all all day, furious.
It was so awesome. It was
It
so
was.
awesome. Lippy and I
He's
were
like,
just
yeah.
texting the whole time about like this is fucking great. Superflex is never happening. And to be clear, we're talking about Superflex and redraft, but oh, it was so great. It was so much fun.
I
I
couldn't
think
handle it.
Curran and Bevo sent 700 messages in group me that day.
It was a good time. I appreciate our banter because at least he's one that sticks by his guns and does not back down
Even
when he
if
wants
they're
to argue
silly
about.
guns, even if they're Nerf guns.
Yeah, so if I need to argue about why having no kickers in a league is better than having fucking super flex, I don't know. Anyway,
the,
that's
the
those were the same vibes I got from the penis argument. So I was kind of just took myself out of it after a while.
oh man, and that's what I couldn't understand. It was like we were dumb for not understanding how smart the Falcons pick was, and it just escapes me. Um, what?
I mean,
Yeah,
the Penix thing can be boiled down to it's a much larger scale version of what you just described, like using crazy analyses to solve a problem that can easily be figured out by the mid twit, right? Like you don't need to do a historical variance analysis to understand that drafting a backup does not help your team win this year. And you presumably want to win this year, therefore your first round pick is a failure because it does not help you win this year. If your stated goal is to compete in 2026, 2027, or theoretically, whatever, but the point is you did not make the best pick that puts you in the best position to win right now. And your stupid little spreadsheet may spit out an expected win total of, more than zero for comparing Penix versus whatever other pick you could have made. I don't know. I don't pretend to know, but it's a multi-billion dollar business that can't just be the problems can't be solved by Chris Ballard eyeballing the best effing edge rusher in the draft all the time. It has to, some GMs want to analyze the shit out of everything and fully justify why they have 46-figure earning folks under them to figure out which 7 players they should select. And that leads to disastrous results sometimes like this, where you just overthought it and totally fucked yourself in the face. I mean, totally fucked yourself in the face. You could have just taken Rome and had one of the most dominant offenses the NFL has ever seen. But instead, now you've got Gimpy Kirk throwing to one of the slower receivers in the league with a tight end who doesn't really know whether he's a tackle or a pass catcher, and Darnell Mooney. And you're probably looking into moving off of Kirk next fall or next summer. I'm sorry. That is the reality of what they have pinned themselves into. That defense is not going to stop fucking anyone. Just like last year.
You've got to think about how the defense is received that pick. You've got to think about.
Oh my god, it's so funny to me because Cam Jordan tweets just relentlessly, like stream of consciousness, no proofreading whatsoever, and he's a relatively professional guy, smart. He's gotten hoodwinked by the crypto stuff, which is a whole nother ball of wax, but. Every year the Saints have like even an inkling of a need at defensive tackle. Will tweet relentlessly in the weeks leading up to the draft, like, I can't wait for us to like draft a tackle. I need some help in there. I'm looking forward to getting into the trenches with our new first round rookie tackle next year. Like after Breezy got picked last year, he was ecstatic and like vocally ecstatic. And I like to imagine that the Falcons guys are just like this. Fuck. Just the
so
opposite of
bamboozling. Because it's not even the Jordan Love experiment. It's like a fucking 24-year-old guy who's fucking destroyed his ACL twice. Who's like, I don't know. It just nothing even added up. And as much as I try to rationalize it, it kind of sounds exactly like that. Just like a GM who like just really overthought it. He probably overthought Trey Benson's draft capital and took fucking Bo Nix over him. That's probably exactly it.
Yep.
And sometimes that ends up with a foot in your ass. So, you learn from your mistakes.
Or you're Atlanta and you triple down on Teddy Bridgewater 2.0.
Oh man!
Oh man!
Talking with a Falcons fan the night of the draft, and just the stream of self-team loathing texts I got from him, to be followed up by Jack saying what a good pick it was just a beautiful dessert. Other than
to think that I'm sorry. One last thought.
No,
it's just
keep
like,
going.
Why get rid of Ritter? Like, just keep Ritter and don't do this. Like, theoretically, Ritter could be groomed. Yeah, I mean, but like, you had to go out of your way to get rid of Ritter in advance of the draft. Like, you could have just not done that
make room for
and gone to him and be like, listen, sorry, Art fucked you for your first 2 years in the league, but we are committed to having you learn behind Kirk and learn in our system and come up just like you're a freshman in a new college system. And in your junior year, guess what? You will be expected to start for this team. It's your opportunity. You can make the most of it or not. Like, it's up to you. But we believe in you, and here's the keys after Kirk's gone. They could have done that. They said, no. Fuck that. We are going with this fucking dude who may not even be better than Desmond Ritter at Cincinnati. Like, I think he is. I think it's unfair to say that he might not be. But like, if Ritter had played until he was 23 at Cincinnati, he might have been hitting the same types of throws that Penix was. And if Ritter had been playing with fucking Rome, Jalen Polk, Jalen McMillan, all those fucking stud first and second round pass catchers, maybe Ritter would be looking just as good as Penix. I don't know. Oh man, Penix can't see the rush. He's not mobile enough. He's I don't know, man. I don't see it.
He loves in fucking circus hits too.
I think it sucks for Michael Pettis because, like, he could have gone to a team that really loved him, and clearly the front office loves him. But I think probably sucks. He probably has not had a lot of friendship
That's
where
a
it's thrown
whole.
his way.
That was my biggest thing. Is like you finally you need to invoke confidence in your fucking quarterback. Like if you're you need to bring out the welcome mat for Kirk and make him feel real nice and juicy and really build around him and make it feel like his team. Like you just added a massive fucking just mad just throbbing distraction that's gonna just
Mhm.
if he throws
Oh,
two
yeah.
in the game, they're gonna be cheering Michael Penix in the stands and shit.
Yeah.
It's all so
Well, dude,
bad.
not even him throwing 2 picks. Let's rewind 3 months before that. GMs just dropping through the facility, in parallel universes. One conversation is harmless small talk, and the other conversation is gathering intel. And the conversation could be the exact same thing. It'd be, "Hey, Kirk, how's the old rehab going?" In
Yeah.
the universe where they don't select Penix, Kirk's just like, "Oh, yeah, it's fine. I got $100 million guaranteed. I'm obviously going to be the starter or whatever." But if maybe he had a bad day of rehab and he wants to be honest and be like, had a slight setback or whatever, but I appreciate the organization being confident that I'll get through it, and therefore I feel comfortable sharing this information with you, or you're going to hear about it anyway, so I'll just go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off and tell you what happened. In this world where Penix is constantly looking over his shoulder, I can't imagine there's not at least a twinge of discomfort in that kind of conversation. And it just, that type of interaction is infected all throughout his tenure now, just by virtue of Penix's presence. It's not dissimilar to the Wentz Jalen Hurts thing.
Mhm.
And obviously that's an extreme example because Wentz is a crybaby bitch and Jalen is a total fucking badass. But that
Facts.
affects your daily
Every day.
interaction.
Every day.
And your ability to build positive habits is totally impacted.
Like
and
the whole
thrown off
fucking
course by
Aaron
something
Rodgers
like
thing with Jordan Love was it's just so different. It's just so fucking different. Like Aaron Rodgers approaching the end of his career,
that. Right.
I don't know. It was just so different.
Rodgers had him hostage. He might have left at any point. He might have retired. I mean, he was playing chicken with them.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Way different.
And so let me ask
And
you
they
a
took
question.
him in the 20, and they took Love in the 20s.
It was like 26 or something.
Right.
Yeah, and I
it's
think
not
he
the
was
same fucking thing at all.
no, by all accounts, Love was very high on their board and fell that far. And I can, even if Aaron wasn't holding him hostage, which he was, I think you could easily look at Aaron and be like, I mean, what do you want us to do, man? This guy's up there with the top of everybody, fell this far. What are we supposed to do? That's
Right.
not at all the same as you have a top 10 pick, a guy you just signed who literally does not have you over a barrel. You just signed him, and being like, "Oh, sorry, Kirk. I don't know what we were supposed to do,
So
man."
what? But now, let me ask you a question.
They signed him 2 months ago.
Yeah, no. Let me ask you a question about the signing, y'all, because this was another point Bevo made that I thought was kind of wild. And he said, because I brought up the fact, well, Jack,
They're locked in 2 years.
What if the Falcons lose their first next year due to tampering with Kirk? Because we don't know where that's going to pan out yet. And he said that it makes the Penix pick even better.
Don't love that.
So you don't
Wait,
have...
how does he say it makes it better?
Because
that is so what I think he means by that is because you won't be able to draft a QB next year, it makes way more sense to draft one now. But
yeah, he's echoing the front office's logic.
Right, yeah. I mean, in theory, you're picking in the 20s and you wouldn't be able to draft a quarterback regardless of whether you had the first round pick or not.
Yeah.
Right.
The difference when you don't have a first round pick is you can't support
so
Kirk or
my
Penix or whoever.
Yeah, what I said was, now you're 2 years without a first round pick to help your team in any department. I don't know.
Yeah, if you think you're losing the pick next year, it makes all the more sense to use the pick this year on someone who can help you when you won't have the pick next year.
It would have Kirk.
Right. The reality is, you can't seriously argue. They needed to do one or the other. You either sign Kurt and don't draft Penix, or you decide you're going to draft Penix and you don't sign Kirk. Once you sign Kirk, once that's the first move you make, you got to go all in on winning with him. It just doesn't make sense to try to hedge your bet right off the bat like that. Which is, they can say whatever
That's
they
a hell
want
of a
as far
hedge,
as,
by the way. The 8th overall.
well,
That's
yes, but
The only logic that actually stands is like if they had Penix like in the all-time best quarterback prospect of all time category, and he was like number 2 on their big board. And even then, it's like, oh, at 7, like we gotta take him. Like he needs to come out and be like a Hall of Fame level quarterback for this to look good. I feel like he needs to come out and be C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
Even then,
even
it's
if he
like
is,
still
though,
fucking kind of stupid.
right, then it's bad because it's like
Then why
even
did you
if they
sign
had him
Kirk?
ranked that right, and even if you had him ranked that high, you can't convince me that they were uncertain he was going to make it to 8. Like that, I don't think that any of the indications were that he was valued that highly by anyone else. So yeah, I don't know. I just think I like him. I think he's going to be good. But him being good, yeah, doesn't change that it's a stupid waste of a pick.
You think he's going to be good, Tate?
I mean, I guess it kind of depends on how this whole
Bevo think
situation
this
plays
motherfucker
out.
is
But
elite.
no,
Wait,
but I think he's
Bevo
good.
thinks Penix is elite?
Yep, big time.
How elite are we
Uh,
talking? Like on par
I
with?
wouldn't go that far.
Does he think he's like above the other
Pretty,
quarterbacks in the draft?
pretty good. I would have to scroll too far, and so I don't also want to quote incorrectly, but
Yeah.
let me say
I stopped
this.
listening to this conversation after a while. I was like, I can't listen to this. I'm still bamboozled that even happened. Like, it's too soon to try to rationalize why it's good. Like, I'm still just like in shock this happened. I was so happy because fuck the
Um,
Falcons.
what is long story? This is what I truly believe. When Michael Penis destroyed the Longhorns, I really think it broke something in Jack because he really thought they were going to win it all this year.
That was
And
what it was. That was what it was.
yeah,
He said, look back at that game against, was it the Michigan game or whatever game it was before the Michigan game? How high people thought he was going to go? And they said like people were talking about him going in like the top 10, and then facts changed, and then that one game plummeted his stock or something like that. It might have been because they just dog fucked the fucking Longhorns.
I'm telling you, that is it imprinted on his brain that Michael Penis is God because who else could have beaten the Longhorns
Because he
this
was
year?
there. He was
Yeah,
there at that
he
game,
was
right?
at the game. Yeah, yeah.
Look,
When he
I
did,
get that. I
he
was all
dick
in on
slapped
Tyler
him.
Lockett because Kansas State worked over Texas really good, and that one ended up panning out. So I get the Longhorn killer thing being affecting how you view somebody, but it's crazy to be that in on it.
Well,
That reminds me of the Justin Fields playoff game when he like took that crazy hit and got hurt and then came back out and still like balled out. But to a much lesser extent because Penix would just hit some clean deep passes to generational wide receiver prospects from clean pockets. So
Yeah, which Fields
man.
didn't have at Ohio State.
Tate, did you hear the part about him missing like an entire quarter because he got fucking destroyed?
I did. I just felt like
If Penix got
they
hit
had
like
really
that,
good receivers.
he would have ripped his third ACL.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we talking about?
Just for the record, I agree with you. I just wanted to point out that they both had generational wide receivers.
It's just crazy that he's like the same age as Jordan Love and has 2 torn ACLs. Like, I don't know. It's all so goddamn funny. I was tackling. I was at Ale watching that shit, tackling my ass off and pounding wings. It was great. It was bliss. So bliss. Just what a time to be alive and be a Saints fan. And we got a big juicy tackle, and we got fucking Mr. fucking Kool-Aid, and we got fucking we got the fucking same effect in the 5th round. We got Spencer Rattler, who's like, look, compare probably
He
Spencer
sucks.
Rattler. Spencer Rattler probably sucks, sure, but like we took a same flyer with the same idea, but with a 5th round pick, which probably wasn't great either. But I mean, it's all right.
I mean, it's a 5th
I'm
round.
having
Like,
visions
it's
of
not
people
offensive.
screaming about Jake
but-
Hayner.
Specifically, Jim Nagy being convinced that Jake Hayner. I saved that tweet somewhere. I'm going to find it. Convinced that Jake Hayner was going to outlast most of the quarterbacks in his draft class, I think was the wording of the tweet. Just absurd.
We have a Jake Hayner rookie card, signed RPA card somewhere because we thought maybe why not? But I mean, I'm with it. I'm just saying I thought that the way the draft unfolded was just hilarious. I was as a Saints fan.
Yeah.
It was just grade A.
If you had told me that going in, Knicks would be the 6th quarterback selected, and then Rattler would be the 7th quarterback selected, and the Saints would get Rattler, and the Falcons would get, and the Broncos would get Knicks, I would have guessed, okay, maybe there's 1 or 2 rounds between them, not 115 picks or whatever it ended up being. That was absolutely insane. At the very least, you have a rookie quarterback contract. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is. You have the rookie quarterback contract. If he gets pressed into service and he's even halfway decent, let alone Brock Purdy-esque, that just becomes. I mean, you're an instant contender. It is the lottery pick of lottery picks, and to get one 115 picks after where the previous rookie quarterback contract was taken is just that is so fucking dumb, so goddamn dumb.
It's because look, old angry Curn, A&F knows I would have probably been a little tilted by us taking Rattler in the 5th when we probably could have used, there's just we have lots of space we could use players on, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's a 5th round pick, sure. But the fact that Bo Nix and Michael Penix happened just made me feel so justified, and so I can swallow it a lot easier and actually feel good about it.
Right.
So that's my takeaway.
I don't think using a 5th on Rattler is crazy. I mean, as far as dude was highly ranked out of high school, showed flashes at the various places he went to. I mean, I think his character and personality suck, but I think as a 5th round pick, the absolute best case, like Andy's saying, stumbling upon somebody who can win you a game if you need him to. Hayner is not that. And Taysom, God. But having somebody like Rattler who theoretically could do that and getting them in the 5th is not the worst. I'd rather take a chance on that than the random wide receiver from somewhere no one's ever heard of, or something like that doesn't have the same upside.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, and some of the throws that Rattler was making in South Carolina were legit. He's got juice in his arm. I don't know if he's got the brains and the drive to put it all together, but there's a firm delineation between the haves and have-nots when it comes to arm juice. And he's definitely in the haves. And there are some guys competing for starting jobs this year who are in the have-not. I mean, Aiden O'Connell, jumps to mind. He's got nothing. And that guy might start for them. With Devontae Adams at wide receiver. Fucking what? But Rattler at least has that dude outclassed. And if he can ever get his head out of his ass, I mean, I think it is a little unfair that we're all judging him based on how he presented when he was 16, 17, whatever. Obviously, if you judged me off how I presented at that age, you wouldn't be talking to me right now at all. Probably because I'd be in jail. But
you wouldn't talk to me either because I'd be in jail with you for stealing all your shit, trying to get drugs. But
yeah, exactly. So
literally like I do think the pendulum swung a bit far in the like it's just such an established narrative that Rattler's an asshole. It's like, has
There
anybody
was that
checked in with
reality
him
show.
in the
What
last
was it? Like fucking that
QB1
show.
or whatever?
Yeah.
And that clip, like, I'm not gonna lie, it is one of the grossest things I've ever seen in terms of like a guy who knows he's getting recorded and knows that the recording will be distributed to the masses via mainstream media. Like, what the fuck? Like, you gotta have a basic level of awareness, even at that age, when you have the knowledge of being like on a mic. Like, you can't do that. So what is he doing when he's not being recorded, right? Like, that's the obvious reason you can't do that when you are being recorded, because there's much worse shit going on when you're not being recorded. But I digress. My whole point is it reminds me a little bit of the Grayson Allen situation. Like, it was just firmly established so early on, he's an asshole. Like, he's just a prick. And I'm not saying Grayson Allen isn't. I'm just saying that, you know, people can change, especially in their formative years, and nobody's really, at least I haven't heard of an incident involving Rattler that made me think, oh, this kid's a prick, since, you know, Oklahoma, to be honest. And honestly, everything that I heard from his interviews in the Senior Bowl, which I take with a huge grain of salt, obviously, but like, were very glowing and like really, really positive. And I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that he got fucking humbled and like became a better person. Like, I don't think that's outside the realm of possibility. I think it's a very optimistic picture to be painted regarding what Spencer could do now that he's in the pros, and now that he has absolutely no expectations on him. I mean, it's kind of like the exact opposite situation of Penix. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
I would love for just the fate to be that like Kirk has like a tweak in his ankle and fucking like, you know, fucking Derek Carr gets COVID and like you see the rat versus the fucking penis at home in the dome and like Rattler just outclasses the fuck out of him. It would put me on fucking cloud 9. But, you know, we can always. So now at least with this weird reality, I have that like wet dream that I can foresee in my head and like try to make come to a reality one day.
I'm not going to be able to see past Kendre's 14 carries for 36 yards, but yeah, that will be exciting.
So
that's probably the reality. But
putting the Falcons aside, I mean, I guess you could pick the Saints here if y'all wanted to. Do y'all have a draft winner and draft loser other than those teams that you think really? I mean, I feel like the Bears are the draft winner. That's just true. But anyone else stand out that y'all want to talk about?
I mean, it's boring, but like Pittsburgh probably wins just by taking a really good tackle and like by all accounts fixing their offensive line. Like, I think they still have. They got to see how the quarterbacks work out, but like I think Roman Wilson getting them where they got him is good, and I just think they had a just solid all around draft. It was one of those that, like, you're not going to be pumped for it because you drafted like a bunch of offensive linemen, but it's probably one that you look back on and you're like, damn, like, they really did crush every pick. Yeah.
Who'd they get a tackle?
Didn't they take the other Washington tackle? No, Jets took Fashanu, I think.
Fatno, is that how you pronounce that? Fatanu,
that's right. That's right. Yeah. And I mean, I don't claim to know shit about offensive line, but people who do know shit said that he was good, so I'm going to take their word for it.
No, we just lost Curn. That's too bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know anybody's top to bottom draft. Off the top of my head, other than the Titans, and theirs was dog shit.
Yours was kind of poopy. Yours was kind of poopy.
Ours was terrible, dude. I cannot
what was the thought process there? Do you think? I mean,
they're just clear. Like they're trying to be bigger than everybody.
Thank you for having
They're trying to sun people. That's what they want to do. They want to have a power a power team, exotic Smash Mouth. But seriously, they do. There is a clear theory to what they were doing, and it's building inside out. So, especially on defense, now that they've got Big Jeff locked up, theoretically Sweat fits in as a pass rushing interior force next to Jeff that gives you a lot of interior pressure with Harold Landry coming off the edge and speeds up quarterback's clock, reduces the amount of time they have to read the field. And then in the back, we've got 3 legitimately solid corners, one of which being L'Jarius Sneed. So
I forgot they got
the idea,
actually.
Yeah. So the idea is that you've got less time to throw, less open receivers, less impetus on your linebackers to be coverage ball hawks, and so that plays to Kenneth Murray's strength of just blitzing like crazy. But then they drafted a linebacker out of UNC who's apparently a decent coverage linebacker. And so, I get in theory where they're going. The problem I have with it is Sweat seems like a piece of shit. And that just, like, the fact that he had the DUI, like, a week ago, and they went down there and talked to him, and they're like, yeah, like, we talked to him. Seems like he really, like, is holding himself accountable. It's like, if you were holding himself accountable, like, he would not have gotten a DUI the week before the draft. Like,
he has like a vested interest in telling you that he's learned from that.
Yeah, no, exactly. We talked to him. He said it's all good.
Yeah. He's got this thing in his car he's got to blow into. Won't be a problem.
Yeah.
But like that coupled with the fact that he like level. he very obviously was not maintaining like optimal playing weight at Texas. Like I think he was listed at like 365 or something, yeah. But that man was like 390.
Yeah.
Like that dude was busting out of the triple XL jersey. Like that is, and like there's some credit to be earned for like playing the way he did at that weight, but that shit isn't going to work in the NFL. It's just not going to work. Ask Albert Hainsworth how well that works. And I don't like the idea of having spent our first round pick on a tackle who appears to have technique issues and our second round pick on a mountain of a defensive tackle who may not ever, he may not reach his potential just by virtue of like him not wanting it. And I don't trust Rand Carthon's talent evaluation at all. I know he's got like a solid reputation around the league, but like he's like in his mid-30s. His draft last year wasn't great. I don't know, man. I'm not amped. I'm very not amped.
Isn't there also something to be said too for the fact that like you're saying, they're built through the middle, and like I know the exotic smash mouth thing was a joke, but it does kind of like the Titans did this. Like they had this. Like this was their strategy previously, as far as like we're going to be, big uglies and run the football and like all that shit. It's like I don't know. I guess I just would have liked to have seen, especially after moving on from Vrabel and like getting an offensive-minded head coach. I would have liked to have seen more moves that looked like they were really like turning the team in a different direction, and it just doesn't seem like their draft pick really reflect that. Like I liked the Ridley signing just because, if nothing else, it's a competent receiver who can catch the football, which they, other than Nuke, who knows how long he's got, like you didn't have. But it's like I just would have liked to have seen them like show that they were putting more towards like we're getting faster, more. I don't know. It just didn't feel like they were really changing.
So I do think they've done a good amount in that direction. Like I don't think this is going to look anything like exotic smash mouth on offense. That was definitely a joke. which I know you got, but just for clarity, I don't think that this is going to be this, like, Exotic Smash Mouth is all about, like, run the ball 60% of the time and then take deep shots, like, a quarter of the time, and then everything else in between was just random, just stupid shit. I think this is going to be a pass-first offense, like, for sure. But I think they're going to make their hay with unpredictability. And I think a lot of that is going to be disguising looks with Pollard and Tajay interchangeably, because they're both great pass protectors and great pass catchers. And I think they're gonna go 3 wide really often and go for those. Just spread the defenses out. They're gonna try and buy Levis a little bit of time with those big boys up front, and just hope that he can get the ball out quickly, knowing that, you know, he's got 4 options, even if he can't get through his reads properly or whatever. Like, he can make it happen if you. They compared, Callahan compared Ridley to Jamar Chase. I think he envisions Calvin fulfilling that same sort of role in the offense. Obviously, he's not anywhere near as good as Jamar, but, like, a lot of Jamar's hay is made before the sticks. Like, he's a humongous deep threat, obviously, but, like, the dude is a possession receiver too, and by virtue of his short area separation skills, I think that's what Ridley brings to the table, just in a micro dosing form. And so I really wouldn't be surprised if you see the A dot of this group really dialed back. And I think there's going to be a really high pace, spread them out, quick outs, tire the defense out kind of approach to the offense with Pollard and Tajay running the ball just to keep the defense off balance when needed. I think it'll be a good offense. I do think it'll be a good offense. I worry about Latham being a reliable left tackle. I don't know if that's. I don't know shit about tackle play, but from what I've read about him, I'm not super sold. And I don't love the sweat pick. But, like, they could both hit. If they both hit, I think we're getting a playoff spot easily.
I was about to ask you that. Where do you think he'll finish? Playoff spot?
Yeah, I mean, things have to go right.
It's a tough conference.
Hopkins can't get hurt. If Hopkins gets hurt, I don't see us winning more than 6 or 7 games. Yeah, it's a really tough conference. You got to figure you hope to take 1, maybe 2 from the Colts and Texans. And then I don't even know what NFC conference they're playing this year, but I think Levis is going to surprise.
The NFC North this year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's not going to go well.
That's a tough division.
It is.
Yeah.
Would you want to see them be in the
right now?
AFC North?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. What were
Would
you
you
going
want
to
to
say?
see the Titans be in on the Ayuk sweepstakes, if that is a sweepstakes?
Nah.
Wait, I think
Already got
we've
too
got
much invested.
we've got the AFC East this year. AFC East, NFC North.
Oh, that's nice.
That's not great.
That's kind of a tough division as well.
AFC East? Wait, am I getting my directions mixed up? Isn't that the Pats, Dolphins,
Dolphins,
Bills,
Jets,
and Jets?
Jets? Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I mean,
hey,
I guess that division has a lot of question marks for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the Dolphins.
I would rather play that than the
talent
AFC
this year,
North. We played the AFC North last year. I'd rather do the East than the North. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. I don't think the Dolphins are going to be good this year at all.
Really?
I mean, they lost Wilkins. And I feel like they lost a key member of their secondary too, but maybe I'm just
They cut Xavier Howard.
Yeah.
Yeah, they cut Howard.
He's still a free agent, right? I think he is.
Yeah,
Right.
he is.
Just hanging out post draft.
Yeah, I mean,
He and Shark.
Yeah,
I guess you could.
Go ahead, Tate.
I was going to say, I guess you could argue that their defense wasn't the best with those guys. So losing them, how much worse could it get? But I mean, it definitely could get worse.
I'd rather have them than not.
Yeah.
And their defense was not terrible last year. I think it was pretty league average.
I seem to remember them being bad in like a
They lost
important statistical category. Well, they did do that.
I don't see their offense being as good. I think that it's not very rare. It's literally never happened where a wide receiver's posted damn near 2,000 yards and then comes back and has a better season. So I think at some point you got to account for Tyreek getting lost to father time. Waddle's great, but he gets hurt a lot. Tua gets hurt a lot. I think too many things have to go exactly right for the Dolphins to not necessarily win the division.
They're still a threat in a game Sunday, though. I don't think that's a soft matchup at all.
No, you're right. I mean, if they're walking in on a weekly basis, if they're walking in with Tua, Waddle, Tyreek, HN, Mostert, all healthy, that's not fun to defend. But I don't think their defense is going to be good, and I do think it's more likely than not that at least one of those guys will be hurt.
Out of office. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
you bracket Tyreek, you got Waddle hurt. Okay, now you just got to make sure you cover your gaps against HN every time he gets the ball. He'll probably be hurt by the fifth carry. Maybe Tua hits his head walking into the locker room. I don't know.
Fan throws a fucking bottle at him.
How quickly did we just move on past the Tua concussion concerns? Like, going into last year, everybody was like, I don't know if the Dolphins are going to win 2 games because Tua's going to hit his head and it's going to be over. It's like, that's still true. Yeah. He's still 1 concussion away.
I do not have as high expectations for the Titans. I actually think y'all are going to be pretty bad. But that's
the way you delivered that.
Yeah. I hate to say that to you, but it's just true.
I don't think you do hate to say that, actually.
I'm so fucking jazzed about it.
I don't hear a lot of hatred there.
No, I think you were suppressing some laughter.
Tell me what you see in the Titans.
I don't think your defense is going to hold up against any division game at all. I think your defense fucking sucks. I think it's so bad.
What about Snead? You don't like Snead?
I don't. He really doesn't move the needle for me that much. He really just doesn't. I think.
Really?
Yeah, he doesn't. So here's the thing. I think, and this could just be total bullshit, and I could be totally wrong. I think he's a good player who looked great on a great defense. And I don't think he's going to a great defense. I think he's going to the Titans. So I think he'll be good.
Well, didn't he kind of make it a great defense?
You could definitely say he's one of the pieces that made it great.
Who are the players on Kansas City's defense other than himself?
I think everyone. I think everyone is very good, and I think that Spagnuolo runs a great defense, and the system works. That's what I think. Because for years, the Chiefs' defense really wasn't all that great.
You're saying bags and system more so than individual talent.
Yes, I'm saying, and I'm not saying any of the players are bad. I'm saying they're good and they do their job in that system really well, and the defense thrives because of it.
But then, how do you explain Snead dominating individual matchups with elite wide receivers?
I know. So that's the thing. They're like, I'm hand waving some of that, and I could be totally wrong.
Yeah.
But I just think it's like a product.
I mean, like, you've seen the clip of him pressing Tyreek into like the
like through the crust of the earth.
Yeah, and
Like that is
I think
that
his
is individual skill. You know, I don't think Spags had anything to do with that.
what is Diggs like all-time yards against him? Something like it's like something ridiculous.
bad.
It's not. I don't think it's triple digits all time. It's really bad.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's horrible. So like, there's the total chance, like, he just locks Diggs the fuck down, and I look like a total moron. But I don't think that's going to be true. I think that while he's good, he's not great, and it's not going to elevate y'all's defense very far. But there's a lot up in the air there. But I just don't know. And I also I don't think Levis is very good. I don't think Pollard is very good. And I don't think Kaji showed me anything last year to convince me he's good. So
I'll firmly disagree with you there. I'll let you have Pollard and Levis. Tajay is amazing.
Really? I
Yeah.
was like super unimpressed. I don't know.
If they hadn't signed Pollard, I'd be taking Tajay in the second round of every single redraft league, if not first.
Well, so why'd they sign Pollard?
Well, I mean, I think
they could have got the third running back in the fourth round or something.
I think that speaks to their level of commitment to a passing game that is totally unpredictable on all three downs.
Yeah, well,
because
so.
I don't think you could. I don't think you could find a back in this year's draft who gives you the versatility that Pollard offers, other than maybe Brooks. But then you have to invest a high second round pick. And
he's hurt. I think that I think it can be explained by they probably looked at this draft class and was like, we could use a pick on this, or I mean, Pollard wasn't getting like a ton of love and they signed him to a relatively reasonable deal. So I think they probably just did the math on it and were like, we like Pollard. Yeah, we like Pollard way better than anybody in this class by a mile. So might as well just pay him.
Right. And also Tajay is like, he's not a bruiser. Like, he's an in between the tackles runner for sure, but he's not a bruiser.
Yeah,
like, I don't think there's any scenario where he gets 25 carries a game
too. Yeah, which just makes me wonder. Like,
right, but what I'm saying is that I think you don't. I think a general manager who goes in to the year with Tajay as RB1, with I'm trying to think of who's the fucker, Deontay Foreman. Deontay Foreman is the RB2. Like, that's not going to work.
I mean,
you need a running back.
I don't know.
You need a running back
who
can siphon 12, 10, 12 carries, 8, 12 carries a game from Tajay. Keep his load light. Keep Tajay in
They didn't sign Tony to get 10,
12
carries a game. I don't think that's what's going to be happening. I think he's going to be getting a lot more.
You think it's more?
Yeah, I think Tony Pollard's the lead back for sure.
Oh, I
understand how many carries
know.
10, 12 a game is, right? I mean, that's 200 carries.
Yeah,
a year.
I think Tony Pollard is going to. I mean, that means less with the expanded season, but still, I think Tony Pollard is absolutely going to be the lead back. I'd be very surprised if Taji's in front of him.
I don't think you're going to be able to decipher who the lead back is from their usage.
That's fair enough. You're saying it's 50-50 ball, yeah.
Well, I think it's just whoever looks better on any given week, you're going to be like, oh yeah, that's their starter.
That's going to be infuriating for fantasy purposes.
Yeah. It's going to be diabolical. Yeah, for reference, Derek had 16 carries a game last year, 16 and a half. That was 280 carries.
Well, there's also, I mean, we can't forget, like, Tajay does have this, like, that whole thing about his knees and everything, and I know he's, like, fine now, but I can understand a team, even though they drafted him knowing that, I can I'm saying looking at that and being like, yeah, maybe we don't overwork that guy who possibly has arthritic knees and stuff. Like I can get believing in his talent while also having, making sure that you're maximizing him and
Yeah.
not overworking him.
Yeah, I mean, he had 152 touches last year, and I think they'd probably like to give him 100 more. So
Yeah.
they had to bring somebody in, and there was no clear answer at running back in the draft this year that could, like I said, give you that
They had to bring Tony
unpredictable
Hall in to
element.
give him 100 more. Oh man, I just don't get
Well,
it.
you got 280 just strictly carries from Derek that have been vacated,
Yeah,
and I don't think they're going to run as often as they did when Derek was the focal point of the offense. But like, I mean, Pollard had 307 touches last year. So he could probably benefit from a limited workload as well. I don't know. I don't think it's crazy.
well, but I mean,
It's not like they gave him a Kirk Cousins contract.
Yeah.
And then drafted Blake Corum.
Bijan.
How worried are you about gunshot wounds, just hypothetically?
I'm not. I'll tell you what though, when I got that sleeper alert, like I dropped my phone and like I was freaking the fuck out, like because they did not phrase that headline to be reader friendly at all.
What was the phrasing?
It was like Texans wide receiver Tank Dell was shot at a nightclub, and I was just like literally, like I felt my heart stop, and like I dropped my phone. I freaked the fuck out. Like what the fuck? And like I kept reading, like okay, he's okay, okay, he's out of the hospital. I was like, what the fuck? Really happy that he wasn't like involved in any way, and glad he's okay, and just that's fucking so. The whole situation is so stupid.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, man, that's gonna be a fun
Do
game to watch.
you think he has a chance to win Comeback Player of the Year over Damar Hamlin this next season?
Comeback Player of the Year, yeah, I maybe they need to make more of those. They need to make like player who came back from gunshots Player of the Year, because now we've got Brian Robinson and now Tank Dell. So I think we make it its own.
Another award that Damar won't win. I see what you're doing, A&F.
We can make one for defense too. We can make like an O&D award for it. But yeah, I'm a little excited about the Texans. Listen to this. Lippy and I made a bet. I put $50 down saying the Texans will win the Super Bowl. I think
What's that payout?
I think he gave me 31-1. So
Who did?
Lippy.
When did he give you this?
I think it was after the Diggs signing, because everyone in the group chat was like giving me shit for like not putting my money down, saying the Texans were going to be good, and I was like, yeah, they're going to be great. I'm like, what do you want me to do? They're like, oh, bet on them to win the Super Bowl. I'm like, all right, yeah, sure, fucking, I'll do it. Like, and then
Whoa.
fucking yeah. So I'm like, okay, I'll take that for sure. But I think the Texans, like this has no. It's like, put all football analysis outside. This is like a Homer fan take. This has no football analysis whatsoever. There has never been a time that it is more likely for the Texans to win a Super Bowl. I truly believe this is the best Texans team that we have ever had, top to bottom. So this is it. I'm calling it now. We're going to look back on this. This is CJ Stroud's ascension arc. It's happening right now. This is it. Welcome to the party. You're here. You have a front row seat in history. It's happening live. So I love that. It was great.
Out of curiosity, I pulled up the odds right now for them to win the Super Bowl. Plus 1,600.
Yeah, can you cash out with Lippian and throw back down on plus 1,600?
Yeah, because I mean, and that's ahead of the Eagles, the Cowboys, Packers, Jets, Dolphins, Chargers, all those teams. The only teams ahead of them are the Chiefs, 49ers, Ravens, Lions, Bills, and Bengals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good time to be a Texans fan.
It's a great time. It is a great time, and there's been like so much talking, like in the interviews they always say like, oh, we never talk about it, like we never think about it. We only think about it when you guys talk to us about it. We used the last of the Watson trade picks this year, um, and it's just so fucking cool to see how he's viewed now, and just like because he's just such a colossal piece of shit, and the fact that he is a like considered to be just garbage quarterback also, it's just so fun. It's just like man, it's so great. Um, beating the Browns last year in the playoff was so cool. That was so nice. I really hope. I just, oh man, I love that.
It's also good that like y'all didn't waste those picks
Yep.
either, right? Like so often, like you go back to the RG3 trade that the Rams made, and I mean, you could argue that they didn't maximize those picks
Yep.
with who they used
Yep.
on the players, and like by all accounts, so far, it's looking like nothing more than a resounding success by y'all with those picks.
Yep. No, I mean that's the thing. It's I hold on one second, y'all. I'm about to have to hop off to take my little pal here on a walk. But what I will say is this: is that Nick Caserio is the fucking man, and he is the greatest general manager in the NFL. And anyone that disagrees is wrong. Uh, guys, the fan base has the complete faith we have in the Texans organization, and we've always had like players that we've just loved and adored. We've always had like a man, the organization is kind of like second rate. That is completely reversed now, and it's a blast. It's a blast to not think like we are like Patriot South or like like an F1. They're like all the B teams that like are really just like extra teams for the big dogs. Like we finally feel like a real franchise, and that's really cool. So,
Yeah, it's interesting. Y'all got the evangelical guy out of there and actually restored the faith. It's weird how
yes,
that works.
yes. So that was an April Fool's thing that everyone kept posting, was that we brought back Jack Easterby, and I just about shit a brick when I read it because I totally fell for it. But so I already did mine. Way too early Super Bowl predictions. Y'all have one for AFC NFC?
Let me think.
I'm picking
I'm
Eagles out
gonna
of the
go.
NFC. I think the Eagles are going to kick fucking ass.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. It's super chalky, but I'll go Eagles versus Chiefs.
Well, that's noted. That's noted.
Just it's one of those things. Like until proven wrong, it just doesn't really
Fair
make
enough.
sense to bet against the Chiefs.
Yeah. Well, they're coming to NRG in
Uh,
January, so be ready for that. But
Yeah, I'd say probably Eagles, but not the Chiefs.
come on,
I don't know.
come on,
I'm not saying the Texans.
come on, come
Not saying
on,
the
come,
Texans.
come
I'm not
on,
doing it.
come on.
Not
You're
doing
not
it.
you're not
Not
saying the
saying the
Bills,
Texans.
and I know you're not going to say the
I'm not saying the
Dolphins.
Bills.
You're not going to say the
I might say the
Steelers.
Ravens. I
You might
might
say
say
the
the
Ravens or the
Ravens.
Bengals, but you're not going to say those either. Come on.
I might say the Ravens. I might say the Ravens.
I don't hate that.
Yeah. if the Texans don't make it, that's who I want to make it. I love Lamar. I don't know if y'all knew this or not. I really like that Zay Flowers fella. Um, and if I just love actually a ton of players on the Ravens. We don't have to go down that list.
Do they, do they have a running back?
Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
Keaton?
They have Derrick Henry.
Oh yeah, God, brain fart. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, Eagles.
That guy.
Book it. Book it.
You just
Like I know there's a reason why I'm bullish on them this off season in
they
particular.
made some acquisition.
I'm
I
like,
can't put my finger on it.
No, I was literally sitting there thinking that, and I was like, it can't be the Bateman extension. It can't be that. Your brain isn't that broken.
What I will say is, if you do think that the Ravens will play the Eagles and beat the Eagles, you can bet that exact result for plus 9,000 right now.
Wait, really?
That's pretty
Yeah,
nice.
I said this. I said this specifically knowing that Andy's going to get off this call and do exactly that.
Yeah. Wait, has the NBA Rookie of the Year award been awarded yet? Because that's the only way I want to get money back in my DraftKings account.
I don't know. Look,
Well,
fellas.
I'm gonna put it down straight on that. Yeah, we understand Casper's got needs, so
Yeah.
feel free to sign off.
All right. I will talk to y'all later. Great pod. Adios, fellas.